here's a bit of history for you. The last grand final at the Adelaide Oval was played on September the 29th, 1973, and it was fought out between these two great adversaries. For nearly 100 years, the Tigers and the Roosters have fought some fantastic battles, none greater than the trilogy of grand finals, 1985 to 1987. It took 3 goes, but finally North Adelaide won their first and only ever grand final over Glenelg. These days, the pickings are pretty slim, just one premiership between them in the past 2 decades. And North Adelaide doesn't look like changing that statistic anytime soon. Languishing in 7th place and riddled with injury, it's fair to say that this isn't likely to be the year of the Rooster. But down at the Bay, there's a distinctly Chinese mood among the fans. You see, according to the Chinese zodiac, 2010 is indeed the year of the Tiger. Minor premiers for the past 2 years, grand finalists in 2008, the Glenelg faithful believe a 5th trophy is well overdue. But first things first, the trophy is October's concern. Today the gloves come off as 2 foes meet to fight their own private battles in a very public arena. From the Glenelg Oval, it's Glenelg versus North Adelaide.
Hello everyone and welcome to a dull day at the Bay, and I'm not talking about the football, that's the weather, and I'm sure the football will light things up this afternoon. And Tim, these 2 clubs do have a history.
Yeah, obviously we talked about the late 80s there when they played those 3 grand finals close together, and North Adelaide only got one of them, but I'm sure they like to keep building on that today. But yeah, North really just fighting to finish the season off, and Glenelg really looking for a top 2 spot.
History this season as well, as we watched Clint Alloway clashing with Byron Murphy in this incident that cost Alloway a 1-week suspension. Fairly ugly, I'm not sure he'd be too happy with that. And that was what happened earlier this season. It precipitated a few melees that went on after that when they met here at the Bay Oval in round 12. Let's go back to earlier in the season when they met in round 5, and at that stage the Roosters were thought of as genuine finals contenders and perhaps even top 3 contenders.
Yeah, it was a very close game all day. North Adelaide, I think, led at 2 of the 3 changes, and Glenelg just kept hanging in there, and I think disappointing for North that day that they just couldn't get over the line, and that last quarter they stopped playing their really attacking football and went back into their shells, and Glenelg, kicking against a strong breeze, were able to run away with it.
Jimmy Allen there with one of the goals of the afternoon, had 25 possessions and kicked a couple of goals. And for the Bays, well, as you said, they led by 3 points at quarter time. North took over, led by a couple of goals at half time, and by 5 points at 3/4 time. And we thought the Tigers were in a lot of trouble, but boy, they produced a good last quarter. Again, accuracy, 2 goals won to North Adelaide's 5 minor scores. But that was enough for the Tigers. They got over the line by 3 points in a very close contest, as you saw there at Prospect Oval. At the Bay in round 12, it was somewhat more of an open contest, but only in the last quarter. It was 3/4 of tough, tight football, and in fact, Glenelg only led by 2 points at 3/4 time.
Yeah, no, Glenelg obviously throughout the year had a big pre-season, and they really backed themselves in to win those last quarters, and these 2 games we're talking about right now, they came back flying in that last quarter and really ran over North Adelaide, and yeah, they'll use it as confidence today.
Yeah, it was 9 goals to 1 final quarter from the Bays, and it actually started just before 3/4 time. That goal by Matty Bode put them back in front after they'd been headed by North Adelaide, and then they just absolutely ran away with it after that. It was an incredible fall away by the Roosters, and in the end they ended up going down by 47 points. Todd Grimer a day out with those 4 goals coming from 10 possessions and just the 3 marks, so he managed to get 4 goals on the afternoon. Let's go back to what happened last week in round 17 of SANFL football, the Bays against Port Adelaide. Let's see if we're talking about a theme here. They had a big last quarter.
Yeah, once again, Port Adelaide, I think it's a bit like Port Adelaide all year as well. They work hard for 2-3 quarters, and I guess that's the difference between the top sides and those lower sides. Like North Adelaide today, they really have fought hard for 2 or 3 quarters, but I guess the cream comes to the crop in that last quarter, and Glenelg have done that 3 or 4 times this year, and They fight hard, hang in there, but they slowly wear their opposition down.
Yeah, Glenelg got 16 points at quarter time, but then Port came back magnificently. They led at half-time by 5 points. They led at three-quarter time by 6 points, and they were completely overrun. They only kicked one goal in the final quarter, the Magpies. Glenelg added 7-5, so that's 12 shots at goal to 1 in the final term.
Yeah, it's a lot of scoring shots, isn't it? Obviously getting a lot of the ball, and Todd Grimer led the way there with one of his 6 goals.
Yeah, Todd Grimer, 21 possessions, 8 marks, 6 goals, 4. It's doubtful if he's had a better day out playing for the Bays. And in the end, it looked quite comfortable on the scoreboard. You pick up the paper the next day and you say 35 points. Oh, yeah, we expected that. But it was a battle that was, in fact, a little bit harder than what was demonstrated on the scoreboard. Let's go to the Premiership table after 17 rounds of football. And, of course, this is a split round 18. It's Centrals and Glenelg. You think that they maybe have nearly assured themselves of a top 3 spot, but the Tigers certainly have to keep on winning. Norwood there in third at the moment, but under a bit of pressure. So the Bays play North this afternoon, and you think with North 4 points away from 5th spot and a lot of percentage, they are not going to play finals football. Let's go through the leading goal kickers. Brant Chambers, despite injury, still leading the way. Todd Grimer, we know, had a few goals last week, 6 in fact, and then Rory Kirkby up there as well. So they're the challengers to Brant Chambers in the race for the Ken Farmer medal. Let's go through what I said was a split round, and it looks like this with Glenelg taking North today. Westies will keep you up to date with that game at Richmond Oval with Centrals, and then next week it's the Panthers Norwood on the Saturday, and on the Sunday finally the round complete with Port taking on Sturt. And if you're the Eagles fans, you have to wait and wait and wait, and we'll get back to them in a few weeks' time. Well, down to the boundary now, and as usual, Mark Soderstrom joins us, and I think Soder's the name on everyone's lips. Is Chad Corns playing his 2nd game in a row for the Bays, and he hadn't played since '99.
It's been a while, so of course he played at Alberton last week, so the Glenelg faithful get the chance to see him on the Bay Oval today. So for Chad Corns, we hope that he does tear the game apart and get right stuck into it. Importantly, yesterday, his Port Adelaide coach in the AFL there, Matty Primer, said the door isn't closed on Chad's career at AFL level. So a good performance, a little bit of confidence back in the run there, and hopefully Chad will be back in the AFL soon. James Sellers been pulled out of this match by the Crows as a bit of an insurance as an emergency for tomorrow's showdown. And the Bays, well, I think they would go in pretty confident today given their recent record against the Roosters.
Yeah, we have beaten them twice, but, you know, one was a cliffhanger at Prospect, and the other one we broke the game open only in the last quarter after it was close all day. So, you know, we're just looking to get 4 quarters going. We really have struggled to put 4 good quarters together, you know, without having a significant lapse. So we're looking for that today.
Well, the name on everyone's lips is Chad Corns in there for the Glenelg today. Only his 2nd game for many years, but also an interesting player there is Todd Grimer at centre-half forward. He's kicked 11 goals against North Adelaide in the 2 games this year, and with Brant Chambers out, he's probably really pushing to get up there for the leading goal kicker in the SANFL. It all depends on how much ball they can get down to him. James Allen, Ruwalt, Murphy, they're getting a lot of the ball. If he gets to see a bit of it, I'm sure he'll kick a few goals.
And so does for North Adelaide. A couple of big names missing now.
Yeah, absolutely. Some real big ones. James Allen, Magarey medalist, out with a hamstring. The other one, Lee Roswick, who hurt himself last week, was concussed, but it was actually when he came down on his knee that he just pinged that a little bit. So both James and Lee are out today, which are really important runners for the Roosters. Given that North have a break next week, the Roosters are hopeful that both boys will return after that break. But there look some big names also out prior to today. Their captain, Damon White's out. Heath Uni with an ankle. Nick Gill with a calf. So it has been pretty tough for the Roosters, but they're not using that as an excuse at all.
And if we can salvage something from this season, hopefully it'll be that come next year we'll be able to say, gee, it was good to be able to play some kids for 6 or 8 games in a row, and not just play them, but give them really good chance to play in the midfield as well.
Last quarter last week let you down a bit, and I think the last quarter against Glenelg earlier in the year let you down. How have you worked on that?
Our last quarters, I think we've won 2 for the year, so they've been pretty ordinary. So, look, last week I'll give them a little bit of an out because we did have a few sore bodies, but generally we're not finishing games off well. So that's the challenge for this group today, to play 4 quarters, and that's been our challenge all year, and we're still battling with it and working on it.
Yeah, very interesting player looking in there is Phil Davis. Last week an AFL rising star, now playing SANFL football for North Adelaide. Will he line up in Chad Corns? That's the big question I have anyway. But also, can North Adelaide cover the loss of James Allen? Archard, Wright, Thring, these are guys going to have to stand up today.
Davis v Corns, interesting preview perhaps of the showdown tomorrow. It's not happening, as you can see there. Clint Alloway is the man who's got Chad Corns, or vice versa. Let's find out how this one's going to turn out. Here's Michael Money.
Thanks, Neil. Big job ahead of North Adelaide. A lot of players out, around about 9 of them, but sometimes in adversity, clubs can find something. North need to do that today. Ackland got the run. Cranston fell. Ackland got the handball away, chopped off by Mules, has to do the donut, back to Ben Kane, a couple of Kanes today, away to Corns. Corns is not playing today, and he's got the kick away to Kane Tenace. Short to Cranston. Cranston on the overlap is Panozzo. Panozzo just peeled it back in, away to Cranston. Cranston kicks high, inside 50, ill-directed. Ackland got it away, quick kick coming out of there. And Thring can't quite keep it in, and it rolls out of play. There's Jared Kellick, the number 31. Lovely day for football. Ackland in front, a couple of players went to ground. Bennett got a handball over, looking for McIntyre. Motlop got the staggers, then got it to Archard. Archard's wobbly old left footer. Wyman in the centre of the ground, and picks out his man in Williams. Williams told to play on. Panozzo's got him. He had prior. Umpire Williams said, "You did not dispose of the football at all." And the free kick will go to Panozzo, who immediately goes on with play. Away to Ruwalt. Ruwalt with a handball inboard. Allen. Then got it to Mules, so they share it. Ruwalt kept on running. Pumps it long. Pumps it high. And pumps it straight, did he? It's the first of the afternoon to Mark Ruwalt, who's had his challenges as a goal kicker this year for the Tigers, but he gets the first on the board, and just hard running, Tim. Yeah, it was a great string of handball here by Glenelg. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and he really just took them on here. He was right from there, kicked it from 52, 53 metres out there, but you love seeing that from your halfbackers, running off the halfback there, leaving their opponents behind and kicking the big goal. So a great start there by Glenelg.
They met in round 5. Mark Ruwalt produced 30 possessions, 5 marks and 2 goals too. So enjoyed playing against the Roosters this season. It's a great start for him and the Bays. Cranston got the better of it. And it was knocked down towards Bennett, who couldn't make his way through. Here's Ackland, I think, will give that one to Wright. And now Archer just prepared to stick it on the boot. Wyman just held his ground. Motlop was good. Wyman now arcs around inside 50. Missed his target badly, and Alloway, who had a yard. And now Bradley comes away for Glenelg to Mules.
Mules short on the lead on the outer side. Kirkby long way from goal. Short half-distance kick. Allen got a surprise, I reckon. Kicks inside 50. Grimer flies. Can't take the mark. Couple of Tigers went up. Doing the rovings, Murphy. Murphy wants to give it off. Gets away from McIntyre. I'll go myself. And go to goal. Tigers second. Well, he was a little bit undecided, Byron Murphy. He wanted to give it off for all love or money, but had to get the business done himself.
Yeah, it looked like he obviously read the ball here really well off the ground. Took it straight in front here. Wanted to get off there to his mate, but they ended up going there, sliding on the left foot and kicking a goal. But that started from that bit of a missed kick going into forward line for North Adelaide there. And Glenelg, with that run again, moved it very quickly from half-back all the way forward. And it's very hard to defend when the ball comes in that quick.
Just a sense of desperation there about Murphy's approach to the ball that perhaps wasn't evident in the Roosters. So 2 goals on the board already for the Bays. Cranston nicely down. Tenace's kick was smothered. It was also a very low kick anyway. He gets it again. Mules, and then wide he goes for Ty Allen. Only one of the Allens playing today, Ty, and his opposition is not James Allen, who's missing with injury. As we go down to the North bench, Sodas.
Starting down there, Toddy Pfeiffer, James Wunke, and also Johnny Platten, the Rat.
Not quite. Now, it's advantage to Glenelg, but it'll come back. I think the lean, if you like, from Ackland was penalised. Cranston immediately to Tenace, inside 50. Big pack. Archard. Oh, he gave it to the back of his own player. It ended up coming back for the Bays. And in front of goal, Ben Kane gets the pass from Kirkby. And gee, that was an ordinary hand pass. It was in the direction of Potts, and it was quick and it was reflex, but it just turned the ball over to him.
Yeah, it's just one of those reflex things. He didn't really look. He just assumed someone would be there, and North Adelaide do play that game. But unfortunately for North Adelaide, he wasn't there, and Glenelg did the team thing, kicked it to the centre there and gave another good touch for goal.
Ben Kane, some of his best form returning this year after he won the 2007 Best and Fairest for the Bays. And the Tigers have 3 on the board without reply. And in fact, as I look down at our stats, the inside 50's 3-1 for Glenelg. So every time they've gone in, they've scored a goal.
Yeah, you wonder how they can get that free man there. Look there, there's Ty Allen there next to him too. So a couple of free men by Glenelg inside there. North Adelaide just got sucked into the ball there and left their players to drift in behind them and made for a very easy goal for Glenelg. And it's looking a bit ominous for North Adelaide very early on.
Ben Kane hasn't kicked many this year as a midfielder, just the 6th goal of the year for him. But as Neil said, they've out of the blocks, the Bays. Ackland got it down, had to rove his own. Murphy's been in everything, so too Ruwald. Chris Kane needs to get involved, takes the body, and they hit him to ground. There'll be another ball up. Well, they're under siege at the moment, North Adelaide. Coming into this match, we thought it would be a pretty easy win to Glenelg with all the players out for North, but looks ugly at the 6-minute mark, just 3 straight, Tim.
Yeah, it's looking very ugly there, and North Adelaide just need to try and get a bit of possession here, get some use of the ball.
Right kick, ugly bounce. Bradley read it nicely, and then just fed it away. Kick to the wing. Trapping it well was Meyer. He threw it away, I thought. Umpire said that's correct. Goes to Motlop. Motlop, Marlin, and a free kick will go to Alloway, being held on the arm by Chad Corns. And Clint Alloway will get the free kick.
Yeah, well played here by Clint Alloway. I was watching him very closely there, and he sort of went to one way and just put his hand back behind him, and he tripped Chad Corns there, and Chad threw the arms out, held on to him, and deserved that free kick. Probably a mark in the end anyway.
Clint Alloway played a lot in the ruck this year, spurted 15 goals. This one's got a bit of a snap hook on it, but North are on the board at least, so they go inside 50 once and they score. That's a good sign, Tim. Sodas.
Just on the bench for the Bays, big Daniel Kirk will be called on for ruck duties, Josh Willoughby, and also Shannon Snook, who's come into the side with Salah going out.
I must say, both sides finding a lot of space and room to move, as we see again. This time it's Bennett, and that might be 25. He took the mark. Mules hit him late to the umpire. It is 25, and so James Bennett will line up for goal from maybe 30 metres out and virtually straight in front.
Yeah, it's one of those tough ones. When your body is in there, you can't really stop yourself there, and I think it's very unlucky by Benny Mules there. But I guess in this type of day, this sort of football, if you're anything like that, anything a little bit late, they seem to pin you, but I don't tend to agree with that one.
We know James Bennett and the umpires get on well, or they did in Canberra anyway, where he was runner-up in the Mulrooney medal, which is Canberra's league best and fairest. And he kicks straight there, and North have a goal on the board. It's taken a little while, especially when you consider the Bays have already got 3.
Yeah, you mentioned there how open the game is. For Glenelg Oval, which is a fairly small oval, there seems to be a lot of space. There's not much close in space there, and North Adelaide had a nice kick there, but unfortunately in the back there, they took the 25 metres, and I think North Adelaide have to take every chance they get today, and they've done that there, and a very handy goal for them.
Daniel Healy at ground level, and I just wonder whether that umpire's played footy. And I'm not knocking him big time, but I just think that's a footy collision. That's not something that Ben Mules could have avoided. Murphy down. Kick away came from Potts. Kellett. Mules again. Away to Bode. Left footer looking for Meyer, who flew a little bit early, taken by Grimer. One Grimer playing today and a couple of Canes. And that's Chris, and that kick only went about 5 metres. Kristen Thompson in hard. Connors was also there, and I thought Ackland might have been held a little high, but he was ducking his head in that bit of play. It'll be a ball up. Number of players around the footy. Cranston clearly down to Bode, who's caught. And they just throw themselves on the footy. It will be yet another ball up. 9 and a bit gone in the first term. Glenelg with goals to Ruwalt, Murphy and Ben Kane. And then the reply came from Bennett of North Adelaide via a 25-metre penalty. Clisby goes in for the footy. And it will be another ball up.
Come on. And Clisby eventually will get up. And a pack of players collapsing on top of him. Both forward lines fairly wide open. McIntyre taken to ground. Kellett was the tackler from the Tigers, and he was tigerish with the tackle. Inside 50 for both clubs. Very, very open, especially for North Adelaide, who have the further distance, of course, to kick at the moment. Here's Bode. He goes towards Davis opposed to Kirkby, who took the strong mark at the front. And looks to the centre, and almost Centrals-like, finds a player 25 out from goal. Ben Mules had run it down there unattended from half-back, and the skipper will have a chance to put another one on the board for his beloved Bays.
Yeah, the captain here, Benny Mules, he's would enjoy kicking these goals. He doesn't kick too many, and another half-back here looks like kicking a goal for Glenelg. But yeah, great play there by their forwards there. Todd Grimer looked inside, once again in a better position, and Ben Mules gets his chance.
In his 5th year as captain of the Bays, Benny Mules leans back and adds their 4th straight of the afternoon.
Spectators very quiet. They didn't look too excited there early in this day. They're just expecting these goals at the moment. But a fantastic mark there by Todd Grimer. Got up nice and early, very strong hands. Got back off the mark very quickly. First thing he did was look to inside there. Once again, I don't know how North Adelaide can let that happen. They all got sucked into that ball again. Just need to have a little bit more awareness behind them and around the players. And got another goal there for Glenelg, and 4-1. Good start by the Bays.
Yes, you're right, Tim. He doesn't kick too many goals, but when in doubt, kick to the skipper. It's always a good idea. And he delivered. Kirk into the ruck for the Bays. 31 is Kellett, who is pretty hard at the football. Williams got a nice handball out. Ball was kicked forward for North, taken by Bradley. Bouncing ball to the outer side. Willoughby, difficult one to keep in, and the boundary umpire was right there, and he'll hurl it back into play. Kirk doing the ruck work against James Wunke, who's suggest brother of Michael, who's got a quad injury and hasn't really played that much good footy for North, coming back from North Melbourne. Here's Ben Kane, hands and knees, looking for Tenace. Platten got it away to Potts. Williams, Stribling had to quickly give it off. Thring did okay to Stribling, doesn't quite know whether to go left or right, and hugs the line. Bennett in best position. Lovely rove by Archard. Archard inside 50. Target was Alloway. It might just fall in his lap here. Alloway, just a question of accuracy, and he rolls it through. Well, eyes for the football, Clint Alloway. They missed him with the kick going inside 50, but he was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, probably a couple of times they have actually missed him with those kicks going forward, but he was smart enough to not go for the mark there. Read the ball really well over the back there. Didn't rush the kick. You see, he takes the ball, looks for those goals. Could have snapped it really early, but took his time to make sure of the goal. And yeah, very important goal there for North. And if they can get the ball in there a little bit quicker to those two big forwards, they are definitely a chance to kick a few goals today.
Yeah, it was good awareness from Alloway, wasn't it? Just to take that step when he realised he had the time to steady. Made sure of the goal, keeps his side in this contest, 11 points down. And you'd have to say the Bays have dominated the opening stages. Ben Kane picks himself up on a rock-hard surface, I'd suggest, in the middle of this ground. Tanozo with the clean ball. Willoughby led the way to the ball. Now Thring with a great pickup. Look over the shoulder and then decided to hook it pretty well towards Archard. He's got runners. Platten was inside, outside, running strongly. Bennett towards 50. He said, I'll go over the back. He did. Wyman, despite all his pace, couldn't get there.
Probably had another 15 or 20 metres he could have run there. Just watching there, probably inside just struggling. They don't have that confidence to really take the game on, and probably could have run into 30 or 40 and had a shot for goal there. But yeah, a bit of a missed opportunity there for North.
So Kirk with the height, brings it to the front. Alloway, oh sorry, I should say Allen. Allen goes that away. Outside, well that looked like a push clearly. Davis got away with it, and now they'll come again through Platten and Thring working it through the centre, and wait on, off the ball has been a hold. It's against Corns. Alloway will take the free kick, 35 from goal. And Chad Corns just having a polite word, I think, with the umpire. The whistle came very early as Thring was rounding to get a kick from the middle of the ground.
You reckon in the AFL he wouldn't get away with anything? He's not getting away with anything today either, so maybe they're judging him on the AFL standards, but not a great start here by Chad Corns. 2 free kicks to Alloway.
Well, we did suggest all eyes would be on Chad Corns. Obviously, the umpires were listening. Clint Alloway has his second for the afternoon, and this is a contest. And that is a contest as well. Clint Alloway, I would judge, a former Box Hill captain, knows about leadership, and he wants to stand up and have a go, and he's been taken high by Ben Mills. He'll get another free kick for that, and he'll shoot from 35 out, and that is leadership from Alloway. He wasn't stupid about what he did, but boy, he sucked the bays in.
Yeah, a little bit of lip service there just to suck him in, and the bays, I mean, Mills obviously standing up for Chad Corns here. They know he's going to cop a bit today, but just going to be a little bit smarter than that, and this puts North Adelaide in front of this goal, and after being absolutely dominated in this first 15-20 minutes, North Adelaide could be sitting in front.
Well, I don't think at all there was much in that, but the umpires were desperate to show some authority. Now, Alloway, if he kicks it, you'll know it, because the bays will be silent. He only just got it there. It was an absolute shank of a kick. And I tell you what, if there was more than one bay in that square, there might have been a chance. Here's the replay of how it all unfolded.
Yeah, just a little bit of push and shove there, and Benny Mills just got him in a little bit of a headlock. It was really just pulling him off the play there. You sort of see him coming in now, just pulling him off there, and yeah, not much in it there. So Benny Mills, he's a bit of a target today. Two frees against him, 2 goals for North Adelaide, and yeah, Benny was very disappointed with that, to have given away 2 goals in this first quarter.
3 goals out of the 4 to Clint Alloway. Is it his birthday? I don't know. He's having a bit of a picnic up there. Everything get running okay for him. So Glenelg got out of the blocks really hard, and we just thought, oh, goodness me, this will be a long day. But North Adelaide, to their credit, have stuck to their guns in this first term. They won't be intimidated. They lead by a point. Kirk knocked it down. Scramble of bodies. What a matchup. Reece Archard and Kane Tenace matching up on ball. A couple of really pristine midfielders in the competition. Kirk, desperate to get it forward. Kirk, I thought he threw that. Thompson read it nicely. And then the short kick is okay to Archard, who's running well. He got a lead from Williams and also Bennett. Desperation, well done by Ruwalt. Fed it to Kirk. Kirk's short kick. Allen's got to sit and wait for it. Well done by Motlop. Knocked it away. Allen just got out of there somehow. Fed it off to Snook. Snook got it to Ben Kane. He tried to get around. Good tackling by North. Chad Corns is a long way from the back line. They might have pushed him forward, or he might have just followed his man. And it'll be a boundary throw-in. Chad Corns desperate to get into the game. And look, I've got a theory on Chad Corns, and I just think he's not been the player since he hurt his finger. And he's had it strapped every week. His ball handling has been very much affected, and I think until he gets that right, he won't be any good. Taken by Panozzo, who got it from Tenace, and that's a lovely mark and lead up. Now, is that Sammy Rudolph up forward, who marks in front of Luke Ivans?
Yeah, he kicked a lot of goals early in the year, did Sam Rudolph. I think that's who it is. Sam Rudolph there, about 40 metres out, but yeah, another great forward entry there by Glenelg, and just using the ball really well to their forwards, and he could become their 5th goal kicker for today, really sharing around up there, but yeah, just need this as a bit of a steadier for Glenelg after really dominating that first 15 minutes.
Here he is, Sam Rudolph. Goal umpire does a little bit of work to his right, and scores are levelled up at the 18.5-minute mark.
Just wonder how Chad Corns' confidence is going there. So first game in the SANFL, he's actually already been moved off his player. So Clint Alloway getting the first 3 goals, and he got pushed off him for a little bit there, but
well, the Roosters brought the ball in quickly, and a series of hand passes that almost had them in trouble at half-back. But now they've worked it to centre wing. Their option will be Alloway long. Corns should take the mark and receives the applause of the crowd. That was always going to happen. Now Panozzo and Bode and Ruwalt working on the outer wing, and then he'll go long. No, he decides to take a bounce. Well, Rudolph had led, and then he had to stop, and that was a push in the back, and Davis gave it away. And now going back to take the shot at goal, Kirkby. So the 2 AFL defenders in Corns and Davis are finding out the SANFL's a little bit tough.
yeah, they pay the free kicks in the SANFL, normally not as much as the AFL, but yeah, Phil Davis there just got caught out of position and gave Kirkby a little bit of a push and gave him a shot on goal here.
So Kirkby long to the square. And, well, it was almost pulled down by Grimer. Now, Ivans, we haven't called him this afternoon. He wants the line, and eventually he got there, and Chris Kane, with a big tackle, thumped him down wrestling style.
Big tackle and big beard.
Yeah, the wrestling's pretty appropriate, actually, if you're talking about Luke Ivans with that headgear on. We did see, of course, he took it off one afternoon, then decided it wasn't for him. He much preferred having it on. Bode's snap was touched, and now Archard long and looking for Alloway, who just shook off Willoughby. Down the line he goes. Ball to the front fortuitously, and it was Pfeiffer who got the kick away, but it was partly smothered. Corns with a handball in there, Allen, and then Mules, and Ruwalt is loose on the far side of the ground, looks inside 50. This time there's no bounce, he just goes long and direct. Maybe Ivans was in the back of Rudolph, but the umpire didn't think so. Thompson, and then it'll go over the line near the arc of 50. Defensive 50 for North Adelaide.
Luke Ivans, strap on the shoulder, left shoulder. A lot of players with that strapping these days. Grimer and Ackland. I thought Ackland got it down. Wyman battling hard, can't get through. See another ball up. Umpire Richard Williams, the man to do it. Scores level. Who would have thought? Here's Snook, kick high, wide, and just through for a behind. So the Bays are in front by that solitary behind.
Again, North Adelaide quick to move the ball. Almost taken high there was Connors. Stripped of the ball in the end. Bays working hard in their defensive 50. Rudolph, I should say, the man over the top there. And the Bays by a point after they led by 18, and we were starting to think 10-goal wins here. Here's Murphy, blind turn, almost turned blindly into somebody. Willoughby from the boundary line, good setter up, but Davis comes across strongly, wants to play on, mistake. Allen was there, but Bennett holds it in. Davis cursing behind play that he tried to give that hand pass, just wasn't aware he had 3 Tigers around him. Ackland just taps it down. Snook calls up and a ball, and he's going to be pinged here if he did knock it out eventually. Umpire Richard Williams was circling, thinking, I've got one.
You wanted to pay it. You wanted to pay it, I reckon.
I wasn't in front of the grandstand, Tim. We get another ball up here. So this game really tightened up. Glenelg by that solitary point. North Adelaide averaging just 69 points per game. That's not that flash. Pfeiffer. Well, the handball out beautifully by Wyman. It ends up with Potts. And his kick has gone out of bounds on the full. Free kick will go to Panozzo. Ty Allen rushes off, saying, I don't want to kick it. Short, Kellock. Nice mark. He's got Mills in the centre. Just wants to keep it to the boundary line. Panozzo. It's a bit of a possession game here at the moment for the Bays. I think they just wind that clock down a little bit so they give themselves another opportunity to be the only team to score before quarter time. Chad Corns sees Mills this time, who was on his own for an eternity in the middle. Running back and hovering around was Willoughby. Pretty keen for a kick. Ran about 50 metres there, Willoughby, and then on the bounce, muffed it up to Murphy. Just got it to his bootlaces. Wonky out looking for Wyman. Ducked his head. Williams can't collect cleanly. Panozzo's there. They've got him. Another ball up.
Good pressure there from North Adelaide just to keep the ball on centre wing. They were looking to take and break. They forced the error. We know Wade Mills not a great kick. That's why Willoughby ran his 50 metres. He thought, I'll get a hand pass here. Wonky puts it into the path of Thompson, or Wyman it was in fact, and then he looks up forward and a pretty good kick out in front of Dempsey, who couldn't take it. Mills with the push off on Motlop did it pretty well, and the Bays will come from their defensive zone. Work it by hand towards centre wing. Still they work away. Tenace misses Allen. Allen follows up, but he's already over that boundary line. So, again, the Roosters just able to put enough pressure on.
Considering the scores are level, vast difference in number of possessions. Glenelg 77, North 53.
And they get a few more. And will that be in the back, or did the umpire see one earlier than that? He's called it play on advantage in any case. Dribbling wide with a kick. It wasn't too bad. Williams quickly turns onto his right foot, goes to the corridor, and Alloway read it best. And I think they've got long memories at the Bay. They don't like Clint Alloway for the 2 shots on goal he got before, but I reckon it all dates back to that collision that he had in round 12 down here with Byron Murphy as he lines up from 45 metres out.
I saw footage of that little backhand earlier in the game, and he's obviously decided to pay him on the footy field today.
49 metres out, hooks it left, minor score, and scores a level again.
Toby Stribling taking a breather. 3 goals 2 to Clint Alloway. Long kick out by Mules. Up goes Ackland, one hand. Rove beautifully by Ben Kane. Allen. Ty Allen just fed it back to Mills, who's got a kick. And that's why he doesn't like to kick too much. Ben Kane. He'll get a push. It's against Bennett. And Ben Kane kicked an early goal for the Tigers. Just wanting some players to come toward him. Decides to go in the middle to the skipper in Mules, who's got Panozzo in a bit of space on the wing. Panozzo in short, that hangs. Oh, well done. Taken by Bradley. Bradley's kick's a beauty and finds Danny Meyer. Right on the paint of 50, and I reckon for an AFL-listed player, should be able to get the journey here, Tim.
Yeah, and it all started with this contest here. Lil Mitchell Clisby there went for the hard contest, but just let his player get past him and made it very easy for him to play on and use the kick well. So needs to learn there to make sure the player take the body with the body.
This for a 6-point lead. Meyer's got not a real good piece of it. And Phil Davis has gone down. He's copped one in the ribs there somewhere, I reckon, Davis. The Bays lead by point. He's in a bit of trouble. Have a look at that. If you're a Crows fan, you won't be too happy with Phil Davis.
That'll be a free kick to Ackland for holding on. Davis, meanwhile, in the goal square, as you can see, still down. I fancy he was the player who came across the pack and punched the ball through for that minor score. And I think he might have copped a knee in those ribs for his trouble. Just a little short of breath as he goes back to take up his position. Ackland, meanwhile, down the line he goes, looking for Alloway. Corns just couldn't hold on to it. And I guess for Chad Corns, that's his form at the moment. Boy, he was hit hard. Umpire said that was too high. And Corns wants Alloway. He wants a piece of Alloway. I've seen that look before many a time from Chad Corns, who now he wants to switch the ball. He goes short to Mills. He's got a runner and he uses Panozzo. No, it's Tenace. Tenace down to half forward. Just a little too much on the kick. Ivans, good awareness. Right, knew where he wanted to go. Motlop. And then the long one from Archer has created some space. Motlop gets it from Platten and then chips it over the top. Well done by Bennett, it was, who called in Ivans, who goes towards the goal face. Alloway will come hard, but the siren will beat him, along with about 4 Bays players. And at quarter time, what an entertaining opening quarter it was too. It's just a 1-point game in favour of the Bays. 4-3-27. North Adelaide 4-2-26, and Chad Corns just finding his feet somewhat late in that term, but certainly you can see that he was targeted. There's no doubt about that by North Adelaide.
And the main culprit being Clint Alloway as well. He was not only very aggressive at the ball and at the contest, but he got the score on the board as well. So, yeah, very interesting game early on here at the Bays.
And as we look through what unfolded, it took the Bays 5 minutes to get 3 goals on the board, and for the rest of the quarter, it was pretty much North Adelaide, wasn't it? It was an amazing start to the game by the Bays. There was plenty of room to move. They used the ball well, and they kicked 3 straight goals to start with, and they ended up with 4 straight goals.
Yeah, those first 3 goals were all because of that quick movement through the midfield there. They got the ball in quickly. As we see here, the smart football there, sharing the ball there to get the first goal. And we'll see here in a minute, the ball goes down here for North Adelaide. And unfortunately by Ben Mills, his first of his errors in the quarter here. And bit of a soft free kick there, but they got the 25 metres and he get that first goal from North Adelaide.
And that was James Bennett with that goal. We thought, well, it just showed a bit of life, but then of course the match changed with Clint Alloway basically That was a nice goal. He had some words with Chad Corns. He got another free kick for a, well, it wasn't much in it here. As you see, there was a little bit of push and shove. Benny Mules with the arm over the shoulder, watch for it, and that was enough. According to the umpire, the ball didn't go back to the centre. 2 goals in a row for Alloway, 3 for the quarter. And hey presto, as I said, we have a game on our hands with just 1 point the margin at quarter time. 4-3 plays 4-2. Ben Kane, Ruwalt, Murphy and Mules kicking goals for the Tigers, and for the Roosters, Alloway dominant with 3. Well, for the Roosters, they'll be very happy with that start to the game because they do have an awfully long injury list. It's going to hurt any club, but if we look at that injury list, it's just extensive, isn't it? And you would say maybe half a dozen, maybe as many as 8 players there who would be immediate starters in their best 18.
Yeah, you obviously throw in James Allen there, who's put out before the game today. Lee Risebrook as well down the bottom there, who didn't make it through to today. So it's a very long list, and they are all very quality players, and a lot of leaders in there as well.
Well, Damon White's on that list as well. You speak about leaders. He is the captain of North Adelaide, and he finds himself on the boundary, and he's talking to us now. And Damon, gee, as skipper, it must be awfully hard to watch the way that the club has collapsed, really under weight of expectation this season.
Yeah, it has, guys. Look, it's been a little bit difficult. You know, unfortunately, we, you know, obviously have been hit with a few injuries late, but, you know, we're not hiding from it. Our form hasn't been great throughout the year, and, you know, it's something we need to resurrect. You know, obviously with a lot of kids playing in this half of the year now, and you know, leading into next year, have a big pre-season and kick on from there.
You sound very realistic, and I must say Daniel Healy before the game said we can play some young players, as you said, leading into the end of the season, but you've just shot the finals. Is any possibility? Oh,
look, you know, to be real, it's going to be, you know, it's very difficult. You know, I think it's a bit of a miracle for us to make it, but look, who knows? Footy's a funny game, and you know, all we can do is keep winning on from now on, and you know, hopefully things might change. But you know, to be realistic, you know, it is a tough ask.
G'day, Damon. Tim Withell up here in the box. Obviously, with all you guys out today, you'd be pretty excited after that first quarter to see these young kids really standing up and having a real game here against Glenelg.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, Clisby, Potts, these young guys that we've brought in, they really have shown their wares and show that they can play at this level, which is what we want from them. I think we're debuting our 7th today in Connors, and you know, hopefully he can have a good one today and we can get a win for them all.
And Damon, do you look at those young players and think we've got to blood them as the future of the club, or do you think with the injury list we've got no choice, we might as well see what they're like?
Yeah, look, I mean, these guys, you know, their form in the seconds has been fantastic. So at some stage, you know, they knock on the door and you need to play them, and their form's been excellent. They've rewarded a game, and you know, and with our depth, you know, that's all you can do. You can play these guys and see see how much strength you can get out of your 40-odd players on the list.
Yeah, just watching the game up there, Damon. Obviously, the physical size is a big factor for me. Obviously, Glenelg, there really are men playing against boys out there today, and North Adelaide's job really is to try and work the ball and move the ball quickly. Is that something you're going to try and do today? Yeah,
I think we need to. I mean, Glenelg will want to bottle it up, and you know, around stoppage you get a lot of numbers there. We really need to open it up and you know, get third men up and really let our runners do the running. You know, on the wings, Connors, these sort of guys just carry the footy and get it into guys like Ellis, who's on fire at the moment, and hopefully we can convert and take our chances.
Damon,
get rid of it, will you? It's making me feel sick. Now, talking about injuries, so I'm joined by one man who is a little bit injured at the moment, but he's a very multi-talented individual, and we'll talk a bit about his other talents in a moment. But Nick Gill, just run us through the calf at the moment. Where are you at?
Well, it's not too bad a calf, so hopefully it'll be back for the next game. I've got a bye next week. Gives me the chance to freshen up, get a bit of bike in my legs, and play against the next game.
Now, Gilly, you've been spending a lot of this year down back as well. We know you as a flamboyant, high-flying forward. What's been going on there?
Well, it's just been, you know, horses for courses at the moment. We've had Daniel Stewart come back, play a few games with us from the power. And so, you know, if he's up there with Clinton Alloway, you don't want too much tall timber. And we've got Dylan Dempsey as well, who's a new up-and-comer playing down there. So if there's a spot down back to be had, then I'd just like to go in and fill that hole.
Where's the Nick Gill preference?
The Nick Gill preference is definitely being a flamboyant forward, as you say, and I've made that quite clear to Heels, but I'm more than happy to play my role. You know, it's always something that comes up in football. If there's an opportunity to play anywhere, then I'm happy to do it, but I do like kicking goals, even or points, as it often happens with me as well.
I'm sure you do. Now, obviously a lot of injuries. We talked to Daniel Healy before the game. He said, we're not making an excuse. We're using it as an opportunity to give some younger guys a go. We've seen some of those boys. Who have you liked today?
Well, yeah, I was just looking at the budget, and we've got 10 blokes, I reckon, under 20 games who are playing for us. I really like the way Mitch Clisby runs off half-back. He's a really exciting youngster, and Simon Potts as well has a really similar game style. But LJ Connors, who's playing his first game today, I love his footwork. You know, I reckon he probably could have gone on Dancing with the Stars or something. He can get himself out of a lot of trouble, and if he can execute all right, then he can be a real star.
Terrific. Now, Gilly, we talked about some of your other talents. The music, where is the Nick Gill music career? What happened to the big band? Andrew McIntyre was involved, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, our fullback Andrew McIntyre, we used to play in a band together. We split up from creative differences, I like to say. So that's not going on anymore. Luckily, I'm still playing in my other band, The Last Broadcast. So, you know, it's a good way to have a bit of release from football, but I think Mac has shattered that he doesn't have that release from football.
Well, we look forward, Nick, to seeing you back in action. Good luck with The Last Broadcast as it is. Keep strumming that guitar beautifully. The magnificent Nick Gill back on the park, so you can see him very soon, right?
Cheers. Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Next game.
Good stuff, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Soda.
Well, from the entertainment that is Nick Gill, we'll just have a look at what happened in the second quarter. And I'll tell you what, there weren't that many highlights. That pass from John Platten was totally, I reckon, unexpected, but Archard reacted well, kicked the goal. And the score changed a couple of times in the quarter, most notably when Rory Kirkby was able to get on the end of this ball in from Kane Tenace.
Yeah, no, they really struggled, both teams, to get a big, strong marking forward. This is one of the few marks inside 50 as a strong contested mark, and he'd had a shot from there just before and missed the shot, and he learned from that and put this one through for the goal. But Glenelg really did dominate the quarter, but they just couldn't use the ball. Their slow play moving forward, they just didn't have that real access to forwards.
We see there just 1 goal for the Tigers, and when you consider that within 5 minutes of the start of the game they had 3 goals on the board, they've only kicked 2 since, so the game has slowed down somewhat, and the margin at half-time 4 points. Through the goal kickers, they haven't changed much either because of the nature of the game. Clint Alloway obviously leading the way with 3 goals, all in the opening quarter of the game. And as we move through the stats, worth noting these observations from Ian Mogridge, that the inside 50s in that second quarter, Glenelg's favour 14-5, and yet they couldn't put a score on the board. And across the first half, 8 inside 50 marks for Glenelg to just 2 from North Adelaide, and yet we find the score margin is just the 4 points.
Yeah, and as we spoke about, it's those handballs is the very interesting stat for me. Glenelg, normally there's the, you know, one handball and a couple of kicks going forward, but they've really overused that handball. It's obvious they want to try and switch the player. They're looking to get the ball in one way out of the back lines, come across the other way, and they're doing that by handball and just making a mistake at the end there and not getting the chance to get forward.
Time for a look around the grounds, which means at Richmond Oval, actually, because there's only the one other game, isn't there? Central District 10-5-65. They've put together a fairly good half of football to West Adelaide 5-4-34. I'm sure the Bloods would be disappointed that they're certainly coming up short at the moment.
Yeah, no, West is off to a bit of a slow start there, but yeah, they're hanging in there for that 3rd, 4th spot, and I'm sure Sturt will be watching and hoping that the Centrals do get over the line.
Oh, that's right. Sturt, 3 points behind Westies. Sturt 6th, Westies 5th. Certainly they'll be eyeing off Westies as one of the clubs that they can attack and get into the top 5. I don't think you as a Norwood player would welcome that, really.
Yeah, no, I think Sturt are a very dangerous side. We saw them a couple of weeks ago when they played Centrals and knocked them off. And yeah, I think everyone would be a little bit scared of Sturt making it. But yeah, there's still probably 6 sides really fighting for those 5 spots in the 5 there. And yeah, as a Nord player, we're really looking to play in that top 3.
Players taking up position now. Very quickly, in a word, tell me who's going to win.
I think Glenelg.
Oh, that was more than a word, but anyway.
One word.
Here's Michael with the second half.
Thanks, Neil. I'm a bit worried about the early skin problem that Soda's had in that photo. I don't know whether you've got that skin sorted out, Soda's.
You got a magnificent deal with Clearasil. I spent some work on that. How was that? It's terrible.
Oh, goodness me. Second half underway. The Bay Oval. Cranston went a bit early, then got it to Ackland. Away to Archard, to the outer side, Stribling. Just did it pretty well, and then with a bit of poise back to Ackland. Ackland had Potts running past, but decided to kick forward onto the lead of Wyman, who took that beautifully out in front of his body, and he's got explosive pace. Looks for Alloway and crunched Tenace, but Tenace was courageous enough to get in the road, and Allen just almost lays an egg and just hovers over the footy and won't give it up. And still working on that magnificent Wolfman Jack beard, Ty Allen. Him and Chris Kane going head-to-head there. Bennett got it forward, just rolled it. Ducked back by Alloway. Mills fed it nicely over the top. Meyer to Mills, who slipped, and then Meyer had to get it back. And then off one step. Thompson in front of Willoughby. The 2-13s going at it. Umpire hovering, and we'll have a ball up. Structurally, Tim, I don't think too much has gone on. Davis is still down there on Kirkby, and young Clisby on Bode, so things have resumed as per normal.
Yeah, no, Chad Corn's still across half-back there. Just be interested to see if they do running through the midfield at some stage here to try and get him into the game.
Well, he was in the game early for all the wrong reasons, wasn't he, Tim? He seems to have calmed down somewhat, but I do notice that he is with Alloway.
Chad
was the
said,
spark.
Sorry, Neil, Chad said 13 possessions today to be equal third on Glenelg's list at the moment.
Away, and some good work in there by Connors to right and long, and a strong mark taken by Bennett. Nobody could put a body on him. And Pfeiffer, in fact, it was coming across. Apologise.
Yeah, it was a funny little kick. There was probably just a 30-40 metre pass just into the hot spot there, and North Adelaide probably had two contested players going for the ball, and he just was stuck through the middle of the little Toddy Pfeiffer. And a very strong, courageous mark, and be a great start from North Adelaide to kick his first goal.
Todd Pfeiffer left his man, and as you said, he just snuck in between the two contests. He thought he'd kick that goal. The goal umpire thought differently. So a minor score for North Adelaide, and gee, given their record, and that is that they are the worst scoring side in the competition at just average of 69 points a game, they'll have to take advantage of every chance they get.
Yeah, they can't let those chances slip by, and yeah, it would have been a great goal from North Adelaide, but they missed it, and Glenelg, this is where they get dangerous on the fast moving forward.
Meyer just kept it low. Ackland got a fingernail on it. Cranston with pace, got it to Willoughby. Here's Willoughby, inside 50, looking for Bode and or Rudolph. Kick was errant, taken by Ivans. Away to Potts. Oh, that's a risky handball to Thompson, who had to be clean, and Bode will make him pay. A little goal sneak that is Matthew Bode. Puts his 12th goal for the season. At the other end, Pfeiffer misses. Matty Bode gets one.
Yeah, we spoke about that before. Glenelg are really dangerous if they get the ball in their chance, and you can't give a player like Matthew Bode two chances. He had that first mark where he missed it, got another little sneak there. Two steps, real quick foot on the left foot there, gets a goal. So, yeah, very bad miss by North Adelaide, and great goal by Glenelg to really make them pay for it.
7 possessions for Matthew Bode today, only his second since quarter time.
Ball back in the middle. Ackland opposed. Bennett got it out of there. Ruwalt was there and following up Bennett again. Slipped a hand pass wide. Did pretty well. Potts down to half forward. Allen went back though bravely and took the mark. Panozzo, and now Tenace. Wright won't get him before he gets the kick away. Pretty good kick too. Bode coming up. And Bode is a long kick from this sort of distance. No problem for him. Another one. And he's got 2 in a row. And the Bays just sneak away.
Yeah, as I just mentioned, he's a very dangerous player, Matthew Bode. He doesn't get huge possessions these days, but what he does get is very dangerous. As you see Glenelg through the half-back there, looked in close. Matthew Bode found a little bit of space in front of his opponent. Really worked hard to get back off the mark. Probably wasn't looking to get the goal to start with, just wanted to kick the ball to space, and had that little bit of extra carry to get over the top, and 55-metre kick. Pretty impressive by the little fella, and yeah, great goal there for Glenelg, 2 in a row.
Well, Matthew Bode just bobbing up. Kicking his second. Back in the middle. They run onto it. Meyer taken out of it. Opportunity to Nace. Can't get through. The Bays did this in the first quarter. They kicked quick goals, multiple goals, didn't they? But then North Adelaide were able to fight back.
Just interesting to see if they can do it this quarter. Will they get the use of the ball, get in there quick? I'm sure they'll be hoping to do the same thing again.
Wyman, third man up, knocked it forward. And got it again. Oh, he's a slippery customer, Wyman. Oh, found himself in space. This could be an incredible goal by Wyman. It won't go through. Yes, it will trickle through for a behind. Mills, the man there. But Wyman's certainly lively when he gets hold of that footy, Tim.
Yeah, they didn't know what to tackle him or not. He wasn't really impressed with the miss, but yeah, as we talked about, they have a chance that North they'll have to try and take.
North with 3-on-1 in the marking contest, and Alloway stood up strongly. And he's got an option in Ward Connors, and he's ignoring that for the time being. Glenelg crowding back in defensive 50. He goes long for Ackland as the target. Corns from the side. Ackland with the mark according to the umpire. Chad Corns looks, shakes the head. What do you think at home? Have a look at this one.
I reckon he had first purchase on it, really.
Yeah, I think Ackland's big hands sort of went over and pulled out of his head, but he hasn't been a great pocket here for Chad Corns.
Ackland will have to start it at the right post. He does. It comes back beautifully. North Adelaide with the goal. The Bays with the boos.
Yeah, he's watched his kick again. Alloway gets into a nice dangerous spot there. It's probably 1-on-3 almost here for Glenelg, and yeah, Chad Corns did everything right. It came from the side, drifted across the pack, as we're so used to seeing him do all the time for the power there, but didn't quite take hold of it. Guess in those situations, if you're going to do that, you need to make sure you take the mark, and he didn't do that, so Ackland takes off him and gets the goal. So very important goal there. Watch it really closely here. What do you think, Michael?
Oh, look, I reckon Chad Corns had first hands on it, but the umpire obviously saw it differently. Murphy, Cranston, Ruwalt just jostling with Stribling. In comes Wyman, and we'll take it to the line. Yeah, it's just one of those ones, I think, that the umpire just... I think sometimes they pay them. They look for all money from a long distance away that it was a clear mark to Ackland, but... Oh, well, he's not having the greatest of days, Chad Corns, but... you can't knock him for having a crack here. There he is, fends off, and he's caught this time. That complicates his day. And he and Alloway have another crack at it. Here's Motlop. Motlop goes and misses. Well, that's going to continue on that that thing between Chad Corns and Glenn Alloway, and neither player are going to take a back step.
And you look here, he did the right thing, push Alloway out at the front there, just tried to fend off the opponents, and I don't think Alloway really did the tackle, but he just made sure he jumped on the end there just to remind Corns that he was caught.
Glenelg under pressure, and then a good kick from Ruwalt finds Ben Kane running on centre wing. Kirkby behind Davis. Kirkby with a leap, and he didn't put a hand on the ball, so the umpire said that was unrealistic. Davis now plays on quickly. Oh, his dangerous kick. Pfeiffer couldn't get the second grab. Support though from Connors, and now McIntyre or Clisby, it is running, and Clisby's gone. Well, he had the skates on, but he was soon run down. Now Rudolph goes wide for Allen. Allen looks towards the long kick and decides the short one was better to Murphy. Now the target this time was Ben Kane, who could have been kicked the first time by Allen. Willoughby inside 50. Kirkby's strong out in front of his eyes, and that's bread and butter for Rory Kirkby. And actually the goal should be too, but we'll just wait and see on that.
Yeah, no, he's kicked a few points this year, Kirkby, but yeah, nice, really strong mark there. Nice kick as well, just up out there, wasn't drilled at him, just a bit of height, so he can have a nice jump at it, and he's in a nice, dangerous spot there. It's where full forwards want to kick the ball from, about 35 metres out, straight in front.
Maybe Rory Kirkby prefers 80 metres out on an angle. That was a bad miss again, so both sides guilty of that. And another strong mark taken from the kick-in by that man Kirkby.
I reckon he's a chance from here, Neil. He squares it up. Up they go. They need a good rove here, do Glenelg, but Ivans, I reckon he's just about gone. Allen's got him. And the umpire said, you'll win a free kick, Ty. And you want to be careful to have it taken off him. But Ty Allen, who doesn't kick many goals, mind you, he's going to have a crack at his 5th of the year. Let's have a look at this, Tim. Take us through it.
Yeah, North Adelaide have got a lot of numbers around the ball there. Just no talk. I mean, you saw 2 or 3 players there just standing there. Obviously, weren't any voice there. Either should have been a shepherd. There should have been a quick handball there. Just, yeah, disappointing football there by North Adelaide across half-back. Needs to be more intensity and care around the half-back line there, right, especially so deep.
Ty Allen has no problem at all booting that goal. So it's back to 14 points the margin. I think that was an excellent decision by the umpire. Ivans had the ball in one hand, ready to handball. He delayed it and took the... There's Chad Corns. Just having a bit of a look at his finger down there, Mark Soderstrom, but perhaps just popped it out.
Yeah, just doctor's pulling that back into place. It is the hand where he has had his problems with his fingers, but it just appears it might be the little one, so nothing affecting the original problems he's had a little while ago.
Cranston, lovely tap down for Murphy. Was so surprised he got it, he dropped it. Got it to Bode eventually. Now Tenace strongly. He had one over the top. He pops it in the end via the kick, and Grimer drops it. I thought the hand pass was on there. Thompson looks back across the goals, dangerously but effectively to Davis. Davis can come back this side, surely, and he will. McIntyre the target. In front of him is Potts. Potts can run. Good chase by Grimer, but he won't get there. Potts with the kick and a good leap, but Meyer got up too early. Now it's Alloway. Alloway looks for a lead and then drills a pass which misses. Mills will get first back to it. Dempsey will come to him. He's got support. Meyer. Then for Bradley. And then back through the corridor, Mules and Murphy. Wants to go wide for Allen. Kick takes a while to get there. Clisby late. Good spoil by Clisby and great awareness to spot up Archard with the hand pass. And now inboard to Ivans. Thompson decided only needed three-quarter pace. He is very quick, is Kristen Thompson. And Alloway with the mark at centre-half forward, dishing to Archard again.
Archard's kick in short. Well done, Bode. Williams fed the handball away. Pfeiffer got the stumbles. Oh, Mills, that could have been a fending free kick. Mills got it back, so they get out of trouble here, the Bays, but maybe only momentarily, as the two that went at it in round 12 got close together in Murphy and Alloway, and it ends up with Kane. Ben Kane in short to Cranston. He loves to give off by hand. Bode, Meyer, back to Bode. It's a good take by Meyer in the end. He kicks forward, and there's a lovely bit of work by Tenace. Tenace's kick, looking for Grimer. He had the sit, plays on, and stumbled over the line, and the umpire said he was pushed. Oh, he got out of jail, Todd Grimer. Tim Wetherill.
Lucky to get away with that. It was almost a drop kick goal there, I think, but yeah, we watched the replay. Really, really strong mark there. Thought he'd get the nice, easy goal, and yeah, clear push in the back, but I think he probably would have kicked it if he didn't get the push, so just make him kick it over the mark, make it a bit harder for him. Fair enough by North Adelaide.
Well, they finally return the football, and sometimes these can be tricky from here. What if he'll run around and kick on his left boot around his body? What if Andrew Rogers is watching? No, he's gone for it, dead centre. So he gets his first of the afternoon, Todd Grimer. He's 36th of the season, and they're out to 20 points, and there's Chad Corns, and there's that finger he's had a lot of trouble with, and like I was saying earlier, Tim, I don't think he's quite been the player since he did that damage to his finger.
Yeah, obviously when you got the middle finger strapped up, he's also got the little finger strapped up now as well, so it can't be easy to take the ball there, and I won't think I'll see too many big left-handed fists by Chad Corns in the remainder of this game.
Either side able to get the clean breakaway, still held in tight. Fighting hard was Williams from North Adelaide. Eventually the umpire will come in. Just a lull in proceedings. 20 points, a game high margin now for Glenelg. Monkey couldn't pull it in. Stribling got a small kick away. Umpire still calling play on, and now we'll call for another ball up. Still on that centre wicket square, which is fairly barren of grass, or at least grass that's actually living.
Isn't it a strange thing, Neil, with 7 or 8 players out North Adelaide, you wonder how far Glenelg could probably be 20 points in front with North's their side, and it's just it's funny the way that all works out, isn't it? North Adelaide have done pretty well to scrap and keep in the game, haven't they?
The frustrations of coaching. Tim, you're looking forward to coaching seniors. You're coaching the kids this morning.
Oh, I enjoy coaching the little boys out at PAC, except when we play Pulteney and lose.
Yes, Thring was the third man up, knocked it wide, but not wide enough finally, lovely hand pass, Tenace to Meyer, and then long for Clymer. And you just get the sense after that last mark that he got a bit of confidence. And Todd Grimer will go back and line up for his second in a row.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen much of him all day, Todd Grimer, but he's one of those players. He's likely to kick 4 or 5 goals to finish his game off. And yeah, Glenelg slowly wearing North Adelaide down here, and they've worked really hard all day, and they need to hang in there for a little bit longer. And yeah, really important kick by Todd Grimer.
He had 21 possessions and 6 goals last week. This afternoon, he's been slow to start, as we said, but just his 4th kick of the afternoon and his 2nd goal.
Yeah, and we spoke about it before the game too, about how Glenelg do finish his games off really well, and they're very renowned for that last quarter. But this finishes looks like it might be starting a little bit earlier, and yeah, I can really see this game blowing apart right now. And it's the midfield where it's starting. But yeah, Todd Grimer, we're happy with that. 2 nice close goals. We talked about kicking the ball from outside 30 metres, and he likes him in that spot there. Does it a lot easier for a full forward to take nice easy marks and kick him from 35 out.
One of his dad, Monty, is watching. Monty Grimer played for Longford in Tasmania, and pretty handy footballer, Monty Grimer. He might have even played for Launceston as well. Here's Ben Kane, goes to ground. Of course, sister Holly is a star basketballer, Opal. So wonderful family. There's sport on in that backyard, I'd imagine. Here's Bradley, kicks it long. Grimer can't take the mark. Over the back, Rudolph keeps it low, bouncing ball, and Kirkby taken to the line by Davis, who's had a pretty quiet game. Let's have a look around the ground. Centrals is still in front of West by 32 points. That's the only other game being played this afternoon in the SANFL. Well done by James Wunke, stolen off the pack by Wyman, who finds Archard, who really did let his teammate down and acknowledges that fact. There's Chad Corns and Kane Ackland, both, well, Kane Ackland with the Power for a number of years, and Chad Corns has been with the Power all of his career.
He last played the Bay in 1999, so basically 11 seasons or thereabouts with the Power. Again, strong from Alloway on centre wing. Another lead-up mark. He's got Kirk now with him, and he's got an injury to carry as well.
His boot might have just nearly come off, Neil, I think.
And he just drops it short. Thanks, Mike. So North Adelaide forward again, but again, problems in terms of their disposals into their forward 50. Here's Grimer. Got a good leap at it. McIntyre came late. Ivans. Grimer actually got a poke in the eye out of that. Kick from Ivans was perfect into half forward. The mark taken by Dempsey. He looks across into the corridor. Wright had to be brave. Wright still down after that collision. Kellock's handball left a lot to be desired. Now Stribling high to the goal face. Mills just knocked it forward. Cranston, how did he dispose of that? Bode laid the big bump. Panozzo, Kellock, and now Bradley work it wide for Willoughby. They'll come out of their defensive 50. Willoughby, kick just hung, but it was well done by Chris Kane. And then Panozzo drops it wide for Ben Kane. He can run onto it. He had to slightly break stride, but it wasn't a bad kick. He's taken down as he kicks it to the goal face. Almost marked there, Kane Ackland. Flat on his back, got the hand pass away. And I reckon Luke Ivans might be regretting that he didn't receive that hand pass. He was fairly well thumped into the turf.
Yeah, no, a big contest here. The ball came to front. It just sort of landed in his lap here in a minute, but landed in Ackland's lap first, didn't it?
A bone-shattering tackle too. Here's Platten. Wobbly old kick, set right at task, but could he get around Bradley? It was good enough to get it back to Platten, who handballed out in front of himself, and then Motlop couldn't quite gather the football and get away. Good bit of defensive work here by the Bays.
Good awareness here too, just to get the ball out in front there. I think that's fair enough to play it on. It wasn't an obvious sling to the ground, and yeah, good for both teams to throw it in.
Danny Meyer having a real purple patch in there. Matthew Bode just trying to burrow through. Matthew Wright on the bottom of that, the number 3 for the Roosters. Hasn't been all that productive today. Meyer's been okay. 8 kicks, 8 handballs. Kicked it behind, so Chad Corns, third man up. Brilliantly done to Bode. That have done that in their old school days. Here's Davis. Flicked on to Clisby. Clisby hurried left footer out into no man's land, must be said. And probably not a bad result for North Adelaide in the end. He had nothing to kick to. And sometimes the young players don't pull back and just try and steady it down and look for something. They go flat out. Cranston knocks it down. Chris Kane can't get through. And we see another ball up. So 26 points the margin. There's Chris Kane, as I said earlier, looking a lot like Travis Johnston from the Brisbane Lions. I've been to the same hairdresser, or they just don't go to one. Matthew Wright, Bradley, fed it out nicely to Corns. Corns back to Mules. Mules to Panozzo, and Panozzo's found Bode.
With experience, Matty Bode just slowing things up, investigating the possibility of going a little bit negative. He did so, back to Panozzo. Panozzo decides to come wide for Kirk. Wasn't quite sure what was there, Daniel Kirk, but he did pretty well in the end. Goes down the line. North Adelaide have numbers. Archer should pick it up. Now Platten wants to share back the same way. Decides in the end just to break a tackle. Ivans, and then Wright is wide, and eventually Motlop will spot him up. He can give a hand pass or a kick now over the top. Williams is in space ahead of the ball. So is Bennett. Bennett very wide out. And you sense this is the style that's causing some problems for North Adelaide on the field and in the stands with their fans. Kirk, he just wanted to kick it downfield. Snook sat under the ball. Stridley knocked it away. Snook came again pretty well. Ben Kane wide for Ty Allen. Support from Corns ahead of the ball. Allen took it and did it pretty well. Corns dropped it short, way short, but Willoughby made some space for himself. And even though he was bumped the ground, he did pretty well to get it up to the forward pocket. Kirkby with a good chase, with the ball rushed through. And now Davis to bring it back in quickly for North Adelaide. No wasting any time. Davis, long kick out to the far side of the ground. Clisby running for him, and he's away almost to centre wing.
Clisby's kick, and it's marked by Murphy. Just turned it over. On the rebound, the Bays can hurt you. Kane across to Ruwalt. Ruwalt's kick's a real old wobbler. Grimer needed to feed it off to the skipper in Mules. Well, a standing start, just a little bit too easy to Willoughby, and Willoughby will line them up from about 40 metres out on a slight angle, as you can see.
Yeah, you spoke about that when you're young. You just play 100% enthusiasm all the time, and North just going 100% all the time. Just sometimes need to slow down, as we saw. Perfect example there by Ben Mules. Just didn't rush the ball, didn't rush it. Was smart football, get out in front of his teammates, and yeah, it's a good lesson there for North Adelaide to learn.
8 goals in the first quarter altogether, and we've had 7 since the first quarter, so it's really dried up goals-wise. But here's Willoughby to stretch it out to a 33-point lead, and he does just that. His first goal of the afternoon, Josh Willoughby, his 11th for the season, and Glenelg really starting to take a stranglehold of this game.
Yeah, so good by Todd Grimer, just to keep the ball alive there. And Ben Mules could have had a shot for goal almost from there, but looked out there, had also Chad Corns as well, but Willoughby took the mark and went back and kicked his first goal for the day, making, I think that's almost 11 goal kicks for Glenelg today.
Josh Willoughby's also the 10th Glenelg player to take a mark inside 50 today.
33 the margin. North Adelaide fading away. Thring takes it away from the centre though, misses with the kick because it was too low. Corns desperate to get a possession. In the end, just surrenders the ball. Wyman, geez, been lively this afternoon. Just couldn't get a clean possession away. McIntyre thumped it forward. Wright just kept it in. Gained about 5 or 10 metres for his side. If you look at Jerome Wyman this afternoon, Tim, you can see just why North Melbourne took him. Only got 3 games out of him, but you can see he's lightning quick and he's got some aggression and pace.
Yeah, and very hard to tackle as well. You've seen him, just his basic skills are fantastic and very good in close.
Bennett lost the ball. Corns over the top. Umpire called play on. Well, I thought that was pretty reckless from Chad Corns coming in there.
Have a look at this, Tim. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, was that Alloway under the bottom there or no, Ackland? So just wondering what went through his mind there.
I think it was James Bennett, but number 1, number 2, they're close together, so that was good enough.
Confused. I reckon he thought it was Alloway anyway, and just...
I'm sure he did.
Ackland down. And then we'll get another ball up here. We'll maybe get a boundary throw-in. I think that all of the ball is over the line. It is. And another boundary throw-in. Well, it was a 1-point lead to the Bays at quarter time, a 4-point lead at half time. And they're going to go in with, I would think, almost a 6-goal lead at three-quarter time. They've set this game up nicely. Meyer got a bad bounce, as did most of them. Ty Allen. Mules beautifully away to Ruwald, and this is where they'll have to run. Panozzo could take a bounce if he wanted to. Decides to pump long to a one-on-one to Kirkby. He got back. I think Rory Kirkby may just be on a list that they've just had a naming during the week, the Gold Coast Suns. And have a look at this from Mark.
Yeah, it was a beautiful kick as well, nice and deep. It's really hard to defend that when it gets behind the defenders, and he just had to hold his space, didn't push him in the back, did the right thing, and gave himself a chance to shoot for goal.
And everyone was confident he'd make the distance because no one on the goal line at all. And Rory Kirkby puts the Tigers 39 points in front, and Kirkby gets his second.
Yeah, there's a nice, real deep kick there by Panozzo to start with. It got right over the back of the defenders, as I said, and yeah, strong mark. And yeah, he's just a little bit funny looking for those shots to goal. It just sort of seems to poke him through and gets him right up in the air there. But that one just snuck in for a goal, and yeah, good for his confidence. And Kirkby and Grime are both looking very dangerous this quarter.
North Adelaide 4 goals 2 at quarter time, and they've kicked 2 goals 4 since then. We're almost through the third term. I think we may have identified a bit of a problem for North Adelaide. Just can't get a score on the board, can they? Grime with a strong mark at centre half forward. Corns wanted to run it. The handball was just behind him, and Ivans did pretty well on the line, and in the end rushed the ball through, and he was too quick to bring it out, said the umpire. You've got to actually wait until the umpire signals with his finger that it's a minor score, and he was too quick. Hard to believe, yes, but nevertheless that was the ruling. And now North Adelaide attacking through Davis and Thring, and he'll go to centre wing and look for Ackland. And that will be three-quarter time. A great quarter by the Bays. Such a disappointment for the Roosters when the margin was just 4 points at half-time, and now at three-quarter time it's blown out to 40 points. So a big third quarter from the Bays, and we know, Tim, across the season they come home very strongly, so it's not looking good if you're a Rooster fan.
Yeah, I guess we were half expecting to be another tight quarter in the third quarter here, and North Adelaide to keep fighting back, and they had their opportunities earlier there. They worked really hard to get the ball. They just made a few skill errors going forward. They missed a couple of shots on goal. They missed a couple of passes, and they just didn't get that score on the board. Glenelg used the ball really quick, got the ball going backwards there, and yeah, it looked very dangerous throughout the whole quarter.
Well, let's look at what unfolded in that third term. And really, while the second term at stages was an exercise in futility with lots of possessions and not much going forward, and certainly not much going on the scoreboard, quite a different story in that term for the Bays. Matthew Bode was a large part of it.
Yeah, well, he kicked that first goal there, and you see that he'll get on the end of this one here as well. He'll swing around on that left boot there, and this is both within probably 3 or 4 minutes, and Matty Bode kicked those 2 very important goals, and that was probably the start of the rot for North Adelaide a little bit, and they kept working the ball forward there. Alloway tried to get them back into the game, but seemed to be taking a lot of marks forward. Kicked that one in there. A bit of a dodgy decision there for Ackland, but a beautiful kick for goal, and that was their one major for the quarter. And at that stage, I thought they might be half a chance to get back into it, but Glenelg just kept running and running, and looked more dangerous all the time.
Absolutely, and Todd Grimer, who hadn't been cited much, we did mention he had 6 goals 4, so 10 shots at goal last week, but all of a sudden he stood up, took a couple of strong marks, and then the game started to open up, and North Adelaide just not able to put pressure on the players kicking in there, and as a result, marks like that taken by Rory Kirkby. And at three-quarter time, it doesn't make pretty reading if you're a Roosters fan. As I said, a 7 goals to 1 term for the Tigers, and they lead by 40 points after the margin was just 4 points at half-time. Quickly through those goal kickers, and finally Glenelg's got a couple of multiples. Todd Grimer, Matty Bode and Rory Kirkby with 2 each, and then Clint Alloway, who's only 3 goals, were kicked in the opening quarter. And as I said, at quarter time they had 4 goals on the board. They only have 6 on the board now at three-quarter time. Hasn't been a great term by the Roosters, that's for sure. Well, we're going to turn to other clubs that have, well, struggled this season, and that's at Port Adelaide that have had a change of chief executive, and taking over is Neil Rawlings. Now, Neil, your background's a little bit interesting. You're assistant coach, and then all of a sudden you step up to be CEO. So for the people out there, can you just run through your business background? Because obviously you've got a fairly extensive one.
Yeah, sure. I've been, I suppose, a director and a shareholder of an organisation, and been a state manager, and I'm currently the operations manager at Australian Outdoor Living. So got a fairly extensive business background, and obviously been a footy coach for a number of years as well.
And is it a game of, well, this is where I want to be now in a footy club, and a passionate thing for you to decide to take over in charge of the Magpies?
Yeah, no doubt about that. I suppose I've been coaching for about 27 years through amateur footy, in the last 5 at Port Adelaide, but very, very passionate about the footy club, and just can't wait to get involved. So really keen. And
you've melded the footy club with on-field and off-field through your activities. We're looking at the 99 grand final, of course, the last time that Port Adelaide had the ultimate success, and we know that the last decade hasn't been good, in fact the worst in club history, so you'll obviously be setting yourself to turn that around.
Yeah, look, most definitely. I mean, we actually don't think we're too far away from it down at Port, and obviously we'll be aiming sort of to play finals footy next year, and a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes with Tony Bamford and the coaching crew down there and the players, and they're really on the right track, so we're really looking forward to what's coming.
Tim Witherell here. Just obviously I played my 300th down there and just love playing against Port Adelaide. That Port Nord atmosphere is great, and it's a really positive sign for the club for you to come on board there, and obviously that's good for the future as well, and hopefully there'll be a lot more games down there through Alberton and for the Port Adelaide Footy Club. Yeah, look, that's something that obviously we enjoy as well. We love the challenges of meeting the clubs like Nord and the Bays and Sturt and that sort of thing. So we just want to become a force again, and as I say, we believe we're not too far away from it. So we just need to, continue building the business, and obviously, making sure that we're sort of red hot with the footy as well.
Now, Neil, the idea is you'll continue on as assistant coach to the end of the season, but not thereafter, is that right? No,
that's right. Yeah, no, I'm just going to support Tony for the rest of the year, and once that takes place, I actually start with the club in a full-time capacity on the 2nd of August. So once that's done, then next year, I'll just be the CEO.
And next year going forward, I mean, well, look, earlier this season you've had very few wins. You've had that passionate game that Tim mentioned against Norwood. That passion, no doubt, is burning for you. Is it still burning for the players?
Yeah.
I mean, now you've got just a group of players, I suppose, who are Port Adelaide born and bred.
Yeah, look, I think that's a real positive for our footy club, that we've nurtured a lot of kids coming through the program, through the juniors, and there's a lot of kids now playing, getting an opportunity to play league footy at Port. We see that as a massive positive, and we're going to continue to build on that and see if we can't sort of, complement that through the off-season and, become competitive as we can on the footy field.
Obviously, the West Coast is a big breeding ground for Port Adelaide. That's an area where you're really going to work on and try and get more of those players to come over and represent your club?
Yeah, for sure. It's another part of the process, along with continuing to build our membership, which is fantastic at the moment. I think 2,800 last year, and we're 7,000 this year. So all those sorts of things are really, really important moving forward.
Neil, I know there's tremendous support for the Port Adelaide Football Club out there. We love them in the SANFL. I don't know anybody wants to see them in a grand final, but they're happy for Port Adelaide to be around and competitive. Thanks for your time this afternoon to come down and talk to us.
No worries. Thanks very much, guys.
Great. Neil Rawlings there, the new Chief Executive of the Port Adelaide Magpies Football Club. Sodas, you've been listening into the huddles, and I'm not going to take a guess which one this time.
Go and take a punt, Neil. Go for North.
Okay, North.
Yeah, I have been, actually, as a matter of fact. Well, look, North Adelaide finding it pretty tough. I think they've talked about just so many young players in the team, and just finding it really hard to maintain the intensity for the entire match. Terrific first and second quarter for them, and they just haven't been able to keep that in. And I think that was highlighted in that third quarter, just the 8 tackles they laid. So they are finding life pretty tough. Kristen Thompson's gone into the centre, so they're just trying to get a bit of clearance work out of him. Remember last week, outscored by Sturt 6 goals to zip, so looking very tough for North. Fourth quarter's their worst.
Thanks, Sodas. Quick look through the stats as the players are just about in position.
Yeah, obviously those handballs, still Glenelg just got more handballs than kicks there, but they are getting better at it. But yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a very dangerous quarter here for North Adelaide. If Glenelg get on top, they could really run away with it.
Michael, go with the last quarter.
Just get this umpire to get himself into gear, Neil, and we'll be away. Just waiting for things to settle. Umpires just waiting for all the goal umpires to put their flags back in place. I think he's pretty happy with things. So too would Mark Micken to be happy with the way the third quarter went. And here we go again, final term. And as Neil mentioned, they do finish off games pretty well, Glenelg. But what can North Adelaide do in this final term? To kick their own goals and make something of it. Clint Alloway is their major goal kicker with 3. But they all came in the first quarter, so it's been slim pickings for the big man since then. Here's Connors. High floating kick, Wyman sitting under it. Bradley, rove brilliantly by Motlop. Motlop away to Thring. Daniel Healy will be wrapped if he can draw it back for a goal, but he can't. Brilliant roving by Motlop and quick hands. They do that so well.
Yeah, no, beautiful give there. Just Thring couldn't put them away. That's been North Adelaide's story today. They've missed a lot of goals within that 30-40 metre zone, and you can't do that against the top side like Glenelg.
And in the blink of an eye, it's amazing how the ball just comes back in with Corns getting it to the outer side, and then Mills will go back to Chad Corns.
So he's building stats.
He's got to build them up. He's got to impress Matthew Primus.
So he's young Andrew Bradley. Geez, been impressive the couple of times I've seen him. The under-18 captain in the inaugural year of the 18s competition, captaining the premiership side and best and fairest as well. Not the greatest of kicks from Kirk down the line, and out on the full, in fact. Archer to take the free kick on centre wing. Archer drives it back long. Gee, that's a good kick. George Thring quickly off to right. Right, tackled well by Mills. Don't know that he had too much time to dispose of it, and I think at the end he actually disposed of it properly. Anyway, Chris Kane, lovely run, found his brother. Ben, Wyman's got him, and he's got his brother. And Chris Kane drives it long. Ivans from behind, able to punch it down. Davis fumbled at a vital time. Ball wrapped up. 35 from the Bays attacking goal. And get a ball up. Now Davis, well, he was interested in engaging Kirkby, who instead engages on Ackland. Here come Connors. Connors towards Pfeiffer, who infringed on Meyer, who gave it to Panozzo, who's normally a good disposer of the ball by foot, but instead to Corns. Long sets it up. Kirkby's in the middle of the pack, so is McIntyre. I think the ball more landed with him rather than he judged it, and they'll get out of trouble through right.
Right short. Oh, well done by Murphy. Read it so well. Kirkby normally good in this situation, and just lifted the eyes and saw Sam Rudolph. He also had Mark Ruwald hovering behind as well, but Sammy Rudolph takes the mark 45. That's just poise, isn't it?
We've seen that a number of times by Glenelg today. They haven't bombed away from that 45-metre zone. They've always looked to the centre there, something which Central Districts do probably better than anyone. They never kick the goals from those pockets. They always have their shots from out in the middle of the ground, and yeah, it's a good team thing to do, and Glenelg haven't had too many shots from those wide pockets. All their shots have been from within that sort of 45-degree angle.
Hasn't had much of it today, Sam Rudolph, and that kicks all the way for a goal. Now the goal umpire doing a little bit of work to the right, but Sam Rudolph puts his side 45 points in front.
Yeah, so you saw the first thing he did was to look inside there, and 3 or 4 players there, any of them could have taken the mark, and Sam Rudolph did the right thing, put up a nice strong grab, and it's the first of this last quarter, and you just wonder how many goals Glenelg going to kick this last quarter now.
Just reflecting what you were saying, Tim, 10 different goal kickers, 10 different markers inside 50.
I'm not asking you to turn your sets off, but they did kick 9 goals to 1 in the final quarter of their round 12 match, the Bays against North Adelaide, so there might be something special happening if you're a Tigers fan, because it does look ominous, doesn't it? Here's Ruwalt just inside 50, dodges around a couple, finishes with a goal. Does he know it just doesn't come back fast enough? A quick line that will be good news for North fans at the end of this game. Back to the 87 grand final. We'll show you the highlights on what was a great premiership year featuring the Jarman brothers, Darryl Hart, Trevor Clisby, and a number of other big names in that match.
I wonder, is there a DVD out of the Jarman brothers of all the wizardry that they showed us? Let's have a look at the score from the other match being played today. West Adelaide and Central's comfortably by 44 points, and that puts well, Sturt fans will be pretty happy with that result. Ball flicks over the back. Thring ended up with it. Allen can't quite get him to ground. It'll be a ball up. They were just magnificent, the Jarman brothers, weren't they?
Yeah, I remember a book, The Jarman Magic, when I was a young kid reading that one. So there's definitely a book about him. I don't know about a video, though.
Well, I reckon someone needs to bring one out because it'd be sensational. Well done by Archard and Panozzo. I reckon he's been terrific back there, Luke Panozzo. Away to Mules. Mules gets rid of Connors pretty easily in the end and then peels the kick off. Looking for Ben Kane. Oh, brilliantly by Thompson. Took it away from Bradley. Then punches it forward. Looking for Alloway. That's a free. Mills just got into his back. And Alloway, who's gone out of the game, it's got to be said. And not too much good delivery going inside 50. But Clint Alloway told to get on with it. Real worm burner looking for Wyman. Wyman taken by the Iron Man in Kellogg. Taken by Thring. Thring's high floating ball. Well done, Chad Corns. That was wobbling around all over the place. He showed his class on that occasion. The handball to Willoughby. Willoughby to the outer side. Ben Kane did pretty well. To Panozzo, who just doesn't stop running. His right footer looking for Grimer, but McIntyre chips in.
McIntyre, as we heard earlier, still upset about the breakup of the band involving Nick Gill.
Big football story, that one, Neil.
Is North running well and combining, and they get the ball inside 50, but again, they just struggle to get the next kick, the one that's going to get a goal. Here's Motlop wide. Motlop, he tries to dodge Corns, but Corns seen a bit of him at training. And Alloway, umpire thought that was fair enough. Ben Kane gets a 1-2 with Allen and then goes wide for Mules. Mules was steady. He went for Bode and he missed him. And now Pfeiffer released the hand pass. Archer, he had Motlop wide, just strolled around the attempted tackle from Bode and kicked the minor score.
He's just missed a few kicks today, Reece Archer. Normally one of his best things of his game is he finds the ball a lot of the time, but he just missed a few targets today. Just don't know if he's 100%.
Yes, you'd expect him to gobble those up. Panozzo fed it back to Meyer. And there's young Clisby, a bit sore, making a rest. Here's a go. Chad Corns this time, lovely and clean over the top. Willoughby, Bode, right footer to Nace. Goes to the lead of Kirkby. He's got to go, but well done by McIntyre again to put his body on the line and get in the middle of that and cause that ball to go over the line. And well done, Kirkby in the end had to punch it away from him. Bit of holding. They're both holding each other. Snook couldn't get it. And he'll win a free kick. He was held on without the football, young Shannon Snook. Just love the way that name rolls off the tongue, Shannon Snook.
You just love his hair.
Yeah, I do. I'd kill for hair like that. Up they go. Thring. So clean, George Thring. He's become a very, very good league player. Bradley, well done by Williams. Handball over the top. Brilliantly done. This is Wyman. Oh, he is a good player, this bloke. Get him in the midfield and leave him in there. He is going to be a good player, but his kicking needs a little bit of work and attention, Tim.
Yeah, works harder all around the ground. He's just going to finish the ball off a little bit.
Murphy drops it for Willoughby, and then Meyer and Murphy followed through. Kirkby on a flat-out lead. He won't get there. Thring. He picked up the name Junior Madness over at Sturt when he was there. Andrew Whiteman was Madness in the way he threw himself in. Now he is not like working hard. Then it came to Ivans. His kick wasn't great either. Kellogg with the tackle. Pfeiffer released it. Bennett, Connors. Now Motlop. He could land this, Motlop. He's a very big kick. That one's slightly astray. Got an A-grade bounce. But the fat bit of the post got it in the end for the minor score.
Just got class written all over him, Marlon Motlop, hasn't he? He's also got that Motlop trait where he doesn't want to give it first up. He wants to bounce around and dodge around a few players. He likes to set himself a task. Willoughby set a task there for the kick and giving away a free kick in the end, Josh Willoughby. And North will go back into attack again. Matthew Wright with the free kick. Motlop's hovering. Right goes to Wyman. Wyman wants to play on. Stribling gave him something short, and then Williams something a little shorter, and Williams has got it at centre half forward, about 47 out from goal.
Right back.
Just a gradual build-up, Tim. They just chipped it around. Young Ben Williams has not had the greatest of days, but I like the way he attacks the football.
Yeah, no, he'll be learning every time he plays a game, and playing against Glenelg in this nice, hard, tough games will be a good experience for him.
He's looking forward to getting a lower number too, number 56, but that's a good kick. From around 47 metres out from goal, and Ben Williams kicks a goal for North Adelaide, and the difference is 38 points. So North just keep hanging in there, and this is this build-up.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach will be happy with that too. They can't stop. They need to keep moving. They need to keep improving, and these types of games, it's easy for the younger kids just to stop, but and so they're looking forward to the future next year, and this is a good opportunity to finish the game off, keep playing good footy, and a lot of them are still playing for their spots next year.
Ben Williams, the reserves best and fairest from last season with North Adelaide. So just grinding out this final quarter, Glenelg. North Adelaide have given them a run for their money. They've finally got a goal. They kicked 1-3 for the quarter to 1-1 for the Bays. And the centre break, it'll go to Bow towards Grimer. Got his player away from the ball, and then it fell over the back, and now Willoughby will run to goal and just started it. It looked like too wide. In the end, umpire ruled that it came off the behind post and out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to hit the goal. He really ran hard for that ball, got around his player, got within his kicking zone, but just pushed the ball across the face there, and the wind just took it out.
Grimer on the left foot snap, and he's just snuck it in for the minor score. He's dangerous around goals, Todd Grimer, but he just hasn't done it consistently this afternoon.
He's just got into the primary school there as well, just snuck over the top of the fence there and onto the roof of, I think it's the Glenelg primary school at the back there. So
they have the best balls for their kids. They have the best footballs around for their kids in all of Adelaide, I reckon.
Those young lads there have got someone teed up down there, I'm sure.
They're not cheap, the old footies, either. Now,
what are they, Tim? How much?
You're looking at 120, 130 bucks for a new ball. Yeah. You know, put on eBay, you might get 70, 80 bucks for it.
Well, a ball came back. I don't know whether it's one of those ones that the kids have left in the playground, but it looks all right to me. Here's Grimer again, the man who kicked that behind a moment ago. Ben Kane squares it up into the centre corns. Well done by Alloway. He would have loved that. Taken by Wright. Wright's kick. Panozzo with the spoil, and then just continues to run Luke Panozzo. Fed the handball back. He's a state player a couple of years ago, Luke Panozzo. Well done by Grimer, away to Chris Kane. Bradley's got to wait, and Bennett read it so well. Bennett goes into the forward 50. Williams again on the lead, and this is Dempsey, I should say. Hasn't had much of it. Here's Stribling. Stribling's kick is squared up, and the mark taken by Dempsey. And it looks like Chad Corns has hurt himself here. He got one on the forehead. Is that just dirt? But he's hurt a groin, maybe. And he's looks a bit lame. Might get Dr. Mark Soderstrom, MD. Contradiction in terms, really. Here's Dempsey. Had a quiet day. He's booted 7 goals this year. And the goal umpire says that's all clear. But the big story out of this game could be the Chad Corns injury. It's back to 33 points, so North are really fighting it out. And let's have a look at how Chad Corns might have hurt himself here.
Yeah, it looks more like it when he landed. Just the Alloway obviously went for the big spoil, as we see here, and whether his arm got stuck underneath his body, and yeah, I'm not sure. It didn't look too, but maybe it's the knee in the back here again.
I think the right knee and possibly buttock. Yeah. Well, it looks like that. So does you got a closer view of things?
Yeah, they just put the ice pack on there now, so I think it looks like a bit of a impact type thing. So maybe a bit of a corky just in that area there. So he's got the ice pack on now.
Yeah, certainly, I would say Clint Alloway's had an impact on Chad Corns this afternoon on a number of occasions.
Chad Corns, 8 marks, 12 kicks, 12 handballs.
Yeah. And Tim, there's a chance now as the ball's going to be put in the air again by umpire Richard Williams. Chad Corns, how do you rate that, the day?
Yeah, I guess there's a lot more possessions than I thought he would have had, but I guess the 8 marks is a pleasing thing. There hasn't been too many pack marks as we used to see from Chad Corns, but I guess he's just still getting better, and I mean, 24 possessions in just over 3 quarters, he's obviously finding a bit of the ball.
Well, Ty Allen found a bit of the ball in that passage of play while we were talking about Chad Corns. Showed a bit of pace as well, did Ty Allen, but all to no avail as Rory Kirkby's kick was smothered. Now we get a ball up. Lyman, who's been very good this afternoon. Sorry, Sodas will just carry with this for a moment as Williams, hand pass released to Alloway. Alloway looks back. He went for the hand pass. Well, I don't know about that one. It fell to Stribling, and now Motlop can straighten. And from 40 metres, he just won't make the distance. The front-on attack on Mules will be rewarded by a free kick. Sodas.
Yeah, I think the official term for Chad Corns' injury, we've just found out down here, is a corked butt cheek.
Butt cheek. Is that in the medical dictionary, Mark? You've swallowed one of those earlier this year.
Yeah, right up the top under B, Michael.
Thanks, mate. Good. Panozzo at half-back. Swings it inboard to Ben Kane. Ian Mogridge, you haven't got a technical term, or are you
No, I
waving
haven't got a
hands?
technical term, no. Just Luke Panozzo, that was his 33rd possession today. 17 kicks, 16 handballs.
Been outstanding. So too this man, Danny Meyer. He's had a very good game. To the outer side where Murphy's hovering. Wyman stood his ground. Cranston barges through. Wyman's got him. Ball's locked in close. And we'll get a ball up. Let's have a look at what's happening at Richmond Oval, and Central still comfortably by 51 points. That's the only other game being played this afternoon in the SANFL. Platten got it to Ivans. Pfeiffer just shunted out of the way. Thompson can't get through. Allen working hard, and another ball up.
Some of his best work, Ty Allen. Just still going hard at the ball. You mentioned Danny Meyer. He must feel left out, given the number of changes that were made by Port Adelaide. I think everybody was getting a run who was on their list for tomorrow's showdown, but Danny Meyer seemed to miss out. Oh, big leap. I think that's the mark of the day taken by Platten, and he was quickly back to his feet and moving the ball to Ivans. Ivans called the play on. Umpire must penalise him. Surely, how did he dispose of that? Well, North Adelaide somehow got out of there. Cranston taken to ground. Umpire still calling play on, and we'll get a ball up on centre wing. Gee, that was a good mark, wasn't it? Taken by Platten.
He's not over the biggest fella there, but yeah, definitely got his shoulders right up on Matty Bode there, and yes, definitely one thing he got up the bank. Took a big hanger on Matty Bode.
Yeah, he just got good purchase early, didn't he? Just hung there for a moment. John Platten. Now, North going forward. Oh, gee, that was almost a mark too. Taken there by Dempsey, but it's come away for the Bays. Willoughby sharing wide he goes. Here's that man Meyer running. Wide out Grimer. Still runners through the midfield too. Panozzo supported by Willoughby. Willoughby inside 50 with the kick. Oh, it opened up perfectly for Rudolph. Luke Ivans, he lost him. He was behind Luke Ivans, and he didn't know which way he was going to go.
It was just a great setup from Glenelg from half-back there. They just ran the ball clearly. Panozzo got on the end of the kick, and it's a beautiful kick there. Didn't punch it in too high, just gave it nice out in front of the space there, and ran on to take a nice easy mark.
And the Rudolph experiment up forward bears some fruit for the afternoon for the Bays. They kick their 14th, and they skip clear again. The game high margin this afternoon was 46 points by my reckoning, and right now it's back to 39.
As we saw there in the replay, it was a beautiful hit. There's probably 3 defenders here. Had to try and get over the top of them and land in the middle there, and he did that. And Sam Rudolph ran onto that one, and you love them playing up forward to run onto that one there. And once again, a nice shot from within that 35-metre zone.
A couple of goals to Sam Rudolph. He had 2 goals for the season coming in, so be pretty happy with his work this afternoon. James Wunke there, thrown into the ruck against Cranston, who got the better of it. Murphy just went through his legs in the end. This man's battled pretty hard. Number 1 for North Adelaide, and James Bennett.
He's the equal top ball getter for the Roosters, Michael. He's had 22 possessions, the same as Reece Archer.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the way he's gone about things today. Sort of steadily improved as the season has gone on. Wonky this time got it down. Connors caught with the footy. We'll get another ball up. Well, I think this pretty much takes North Adelaide mathematically almost out of the equation, doesn't it, for any finals appearance. I think most people think they were gone, Tim, before this game, but not going to get anywhere near it.
Yes, so there were 6, as they say, 6 left.
Yes. Here's Murphy to Snook, who uses Bode. And Bode's a bit of a sharpshooter. And he loads it up. And he delivers. The Bays are cruising. They're out to 45 points. 1 off the game high, 46 they held at the 4-minute mark of this time.
Once again, we see there Matty Bode got an end of a string of handballs there, and he is a beautiful kick on that left foot there. It's just sort of nice handball there, got within the 50-metre zone and just managed to put it straight through there. A little bit of breeze at his back there, but yeah, great return there by Matty Bode. He's kicked 3 goals this second half and got a fair bit of the ball there with the 17 possessions now.
So the Bays seem to have ticked the box when it comes to a win this afternoon pretty well, but also building a little bit of percentage, which may yet prove invaluable given the top 3 aspirations they've had. Struggle in there, then finally it comes to Ruwalt. He was good. He virtually didn't do anything except turn around, and everybody ran away from him. Long for Kirkby and Davis. Ball to ground. They could have raffled that. In the end, Grimer taken to ground at Kellogg as well. And just looking at Grimer as he got up then, I saw him look at his wrist. I was a bit concerned. I think from memory, he did at one stage break his wrist. Now, Rudolph was doing the ruck work and was beaten comprehensively. North Adelaide get it out of their defensive zone. Maybe not for long, no. They get a very timely bounce and out of bounds on that far side of Glenelg Oval. Good crowd was in today too, I must say, for the fact that it is, as I said at the start of the day, it was a dull day at the Bay, but no, they've come in their numbers here. Tenace, Bode, he just pumps it long again for Kirkby and Davis to go at it again. That time Davis with an authoritative punch. Wonky was good just dribbling, and then wide he goes, looking for Bennett. Was that a push? No, the umpire calling play on.
He got it to Motlop. Motlop's got to get round Bode and did it pretty easily, it must be said. And then delivered nicely to Williams, who's just outside 50. And he goes in short. Alloway slipped. Kirk, how did he get rid of that? Umpire said that's all right. Kane just might have got an initial one across the shoulder, and Reece Archer not real happy about it and has a bit to say, and there'll be 25-metre penalty up for grabs. Chris Kane. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, it's not... I won't say anything about that one.
No, because you're an expert at that, Tim. In goes Davis. He's been reasonably quiet today, Phil Davis. Taken by Ivan, stolen away. Kicks high at the back, Ackland. And a big height advantage on Mills. Ackland with a real wobbly old kick. Don't know what was quite going on there. Kirk dropped what he should have taken. In goes Cranston. And Daniel Kirk arguing the point, saying, my arms were chopped, that's why I dropped the mark. I don't know whether that's the case. Cranston nicely down to Panozzo, who's caught. And the umpire, that was red hot, Richard Williams. He had only just got that ball into his hands. And the tackle came from Pfeiffer.
Yeah, very quick. I guess he could have given that handball straight away, couldn't he? But yeah, very, very unlucky to get done holding the ball there. But just another goal here for North Adelaide. Just keeps them plugging away and keep working on the game.
Todd Pfeiffer. Only a couple of goals this year. Hasn't kicked one today. And he's got one now. It's back to 39 points. And a lot of silence around the ground, Tim.
Yeah,
a lot of roars from North Adelaide supporters. Are there any here?
Yeah, I'm just looking around for a bit of red and white. There's a bit up there on the far side there, but yeah, definitely very much a Glenelg pro crowd here. And yeah, lucky little free kick there, but he did the right thing. It was a good little tackle there, and he had one little slide dribble to get it away, but couldn't do it. And yeah, he'll be happy with that Todd Pfeiffer. Missed that one earlier, which he thought he kicked, and yeah, he gets one back.
4-goal opening quarter, 3-goal at the moment. Fourth quarter for North, and only one goal in the second and one goal in the third term, so their scoring power just hasn't been there yet again. It's been the story of their season. The Bays, on the other hand, well, they keep on marching on, and I think we all know that the test for the Bays will come really in the major round. They've shown they can stand up all the way through the months of the winter. Once it comes to spring, they had a problem last year. They went out in straight sets. And of course, they lost in the grand final the year before. Tenace, long and high. Here's the contest again, 25 from goal. Numbers there, stumbling with Snoot. Somehow the kick away. Oh, and Snouts, Louts will love that one. All the Bay players go to young Snoot and congratulate him. Fantastic effort. Burrowed in there, got the ball, got one high, got a free kick, didn't even need it.
And the Glenelg players really got around him too. Obviously his first goal in league footy there, but he just kept rolling forward. They couldn't get a hold of him and slid through that soul glow here and put it through for a goal. So yeah, great to see the Glenelg players get around him, really support with him, and it's a good way to finish this game for him.
Enough to make your hair stand on end, isn't it, Tim?
It is.
Getting your first goal. There he is. I reckon he can be pretty happy with the way he's gone about things today. I think he's been one of their contributors today. It's back to 45 points. Free kick in the centre. It'll go to Kane Tenace. Quickly on to Ty Allen. So another late charge by the Bays. Allen kicks it high. Grimer's there, almost one-handed. Quick to rove his own ball. In goes Platten. Here's a little filler in Snook again. Won't get a free kick this time. Right, nicely back. Potts got the kick away. Bouncing ball, Alloway. Can't trap it. In goes Cranston. And he's over the footy and can't release. And the umpire will ball it up. 27 minutes gone. And what have you made of the Glenelg performance today? They've done enough to win. Obviously, there's the siren, Tim, but what a good game. I'll get you to comment in a couple of seconds, but brilliant win to Glenelg by 45 points at the Bay Oval. And yes, they are from Tigerland, and they were pretty good today. Snoop kicking a late goal, and they win 16-12, 108. North Adelaide 9-9-63. Got the job done, Tim, didn't they?
Yeah, they just wore them down, didn't they? That first half was a pretty tight tussle between both sides. First quarter, very open sort of match, 4 goals each. Second quarter become a bit tighter, and in that third quarter there, Glenelg just sort of started to blow them away. They started to use the ball a lot better. Matty Bowes snuck in for 2 goals, and yeah, from there, there's no turning back for Glenelg, and definitely the better side one in the day.
Yes, no doubt about that. One of the better players on the ground, Rory Kirkby, the left footer. Strong marking, and he had a challenge this afternoon. We know Phil Davis was given the AFL Rising Star Award last week, then dropped by the Crows, and Kirkby took him apart, and he's with Mark Soderstrom.
Well, Rory, took a while to break them down, but that third quarter got you there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we started well and then let them back into the game. It's probably been a thing of us. We've let teams back in the game. We've been on top, and no, the second quarter's all right, but the third quarter, obviously, we broke it open, and obviously we were able to play clean, quick footy, and obviously you get it in deep and kick a few goals, which is good.
One thing that must give you a bit of confidence up forward, there was a really nice spread of goal kickers today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been pretty lucky. We've got 3 tools, and Toddy and Sammy's up there today. Selzy's been up there as well. He's gone to the Crows. But, yeah, it's obviously you're not always going to be the centre of attention, but it's good to be able to have a spread, and 3 big tools as a bonus.
Once again, you got a couple on board there. You also had a pretty big challenge with Phil Davis coming back after being a NAB Rising Star. Had a good game on Cameron Mooney. Then he had to wrestle around with Rory Kirkby this week.
Yeah, he's probably a bit stiff from what I heard. Obviously, you got NAB Rising Star, and I don't think he would have played on a deck like this for a while, being on the lush turf of Amy Stadium. But no, he's obviously a good kid, and he's on the rise, and I think he'll be a good centre back in years to come.
Just personally, you're enjoying a good season. Of course, with a few mature age blokes getting picked up again AFL-wise, Pod Sadley and Barlow, it's still something in the mind there for you?
Oh, I mean, definitely silly not to give it a crack if the opportunity arose, but you know, all you can do is look after your own backyard and keep playing consistent footy, and you know, who knows what will happen.
Well, Rory, I think you're looking after your backyard very well, mate. Congratulations and good stuff with the team.
Thanks, Otis. Cheers, mate.
Rory Kirkby there will join his teammates now, and came from being a Hawthorn rookie to Glenelg in 2006. Rory Kirkby's had an impact here at the Bay, and I reckon, though, this has been his best season.
Yeah, no, very dangerous up there. I'm obviously working with Todd Grimer there. Sort of 2 or 3. They need to spread those defenders, and he often gets that second defender, I suppose, and he got the number 1 today. But yeah, he's a very dangerous player and good, strong mark. He just needs to work on that goal kicking, doesn't he? Probably could have kicked 4 goals quite easily, but still a finish for 2 goals too. Some very, very strong marks up forward, and yeah, you never know. He could go to the Gold Coast or something like that with all these opportunities coming up in the next few years.
The brothers Kane, as you see there, the cleaner, tidier one. To the right is Ben and Chris, who looks like he's just walked out of the jungles of Borneo.
Yeah, it looks like he's just you can't even see the headband under there, but
just sufficient to keep it out of his eyes. Now, the Tigers, as I said, look, their challenge is to take this sort of form, this sort of capacity to play this type of game into the finals, because they failed the last couple of years. And as we look at how the game unfolded this afternoon, we know this game works all the way through from round one to round 23. It's in the finals that they need to really show their best form as well.
Yeah, well, obviously they've been the minor premier the last 2 years, and they're going to probably finish second, you'd think, at this stage for this year. So they're going to be in the finals again. And yeah, as I noticed today, they just used the ball a lot more to go across the field there, a lot more handballs. Whether that's something they think they need to work on to try and win that finals football. On the bigger grounds, they need to start softening the switch of play, and we saw that a lot today, and definitely in that first half.
You see there, Rory Kirkby standing up, taking a strong mark. It's certainly a good start by North Adelaide. We saw a highlight there of Glenn Alloway steadying and kicking a goal. 3 goals in the opening term. There was only 1 point the difference, but certainly the Bays started to take a measure of control, but they just couldn't put the score on in that second term. In that second term, they had 14 inside 50s to 5, but they just found it so awkward with the number of North Adelaide defenders sitting back in defensive 50 to score a goal. It all changed around, though, in the third quarter, didn't it?
Yeah, well, that was yes, unlucky mark there by Chad Corns was paid to Ackland, who did kick the goal. But yeah, as we talked about, Glenelg just wore North Adelaide down. Their youngsters, they worked really hard. You got Williams, you got Dempsey, Bennett. These guys really tried hard all day, but they just ran out of legs in the end, and the class came to the top.
Absolutely. And the other thing to note here, again, Kirkby taking a mark up forward. Todd Grimer kicked a couple of goals in the quarter, and in the end, it ended up 7 goals to that 1 from Kane Ackland in that third term, and it set up a pretty powerful result of a 40-point lead at 3/4 time for Glenelg. It was, in some ways, goal for goal in the final quarter. That was perhaps the best of them. A good running play that ended in the hands of Matthew Bode for the goal. But, and we see here the pack collapsing. Snook is the one. Shannon Snook running, watching, buffeted around like a pinball.
Yeah, no, he got the goal as well. As we spoke about here, it was great to see all the Glenelg players get around him. They're just really excited for the young fella to get that goal, and yeah, it was a great way to finish the day.
And once again, as we go through quarter by quarter, you'll see the third term, really the difference in this match. As we said earlier in the season, it was the final term with the Tigers steamrolling home, but in this time it was 7 goals to 1 in the third quarter that really set it up, as the Tigers coming in ready to belt out their team song. As I said again, there is the feeling down here at the Bay that what it's about is what we do in the major round, not the minor round.
Yeah, but I mean, they're obviously happy to win the game. There's no real patting each other on the back at the moment, is there? They're just happy to walk in there. They've got their win. They've probably got 4 games to go before the finals, and they're just really building on that. So this is just another win for them, another tick of the box, and keep working towards getting that finals footy correct.
Win number 11 for the Bays this season, and it was by 45 points. And the Tigers just about having trooped in, ready to start their song. They're already on the phone, you might have noticed. Shannon Snook in the middle. I don't know that water had a lot of effect in staying in the hair, actually. I think he might have some product in there, Timmy, but Shannon Snook, yes, called up this afternoon and obviously playing in his first win for the Bays, and they did enjoy that, as you can see. As we just look through the tail in terms of goal kickers, and you said that they found a spread, didn't they? Matty Bode was good. Todd Grimer chipped in with a couple. Sam Rudolph providing an option there as well, and Rory Kirkby with 2. So there's all the talls getting involved, Grimer, Rudolph and Kirkby. And then on the other side of things, Clint Alloway, boom, opening quarter, certainly rattled the cage of Chad Corns at one stage, but all those 3 goals coming in that opening term, nothing much after that. Quickly, what do you make of the stats? I know you identified handballs as something that the Tigers did overpossess at times. Surely that was because the Roosters had so many numbers around their defensive 50.
Yeah, obviously they didn't want to bomb forward when they went forward there, so they tried to sort of just play that whiff of the 50 and move the ball from side to side of that 50 until they saw an option going forward. And as you see, they had their 50 inside 50s. That's a lot of times going into that forward 50 line, and they didn't get the biggest scores they probably would have liked. But yeah, North Adelaide did make it very hard for them. But obviously they had 10 goal kickers today, which I think would be a real positive. We spoke about the 3 bigs kicking those 2 goals each, but they'd be pleased to have 10 goal kickers. Obviously some of their half-backs working really hard to run forward and get on the end of some of those runs. And Ruwalt kicked the goal from half-back, as did I think a few of the other. I'm sure there's one other there, I think, from half-back kicked the goal. But yeah, no, that'd be very impressive. That, and as you said, they've got the points, and that's all they'll be happy from this game.
Well, last of their goal kickers, their 10th for the afternoon, Shannon Snook, who we've already talked about, picked up 15 possessions and 2 marks, and that goal in the last quarter. And a young player with, well, I don't know if necessarily we saw enough to suggest straight away he is going to be a star, but he is going to be a part of the Bays in terms of going forward long term. He's a young player with a lot of potential.
Yeah, I guess he makes that Glenelg zone, doesn't he? The surfy look, yep. the long hair, but he fits in really well down here at the Bay. And yeah, no, I think he's an exciting young player. He got the ball. Obviously, the players really get around him. They must be one of those good fellas around the club. And yeah, he was really excited to get their goal. And yeah, he'd be very pleased with his day today. Yeah,
no doubt about that. As I said, he had 15 possessions on the afternoon, and Shannon Snook, look, for your first game out there, your first win, that's a taste of what you can see. Speaking of a taste of what you can see, this guy, Andrew Bradley, who played as the skipper of their premiership side in the under-18s, he's got a lot of poise, doesn't he? Now, again, I haven't seen a lot of him, but he just seems to have time on the ball.
Yeah, he's quite a strong young-looking fella there too. He's got big arms there. He's got the good stability around the waist, and didn't hit the ground too much. He's very good. He stayed up all the time. Good, clean hands. Used the ball really well, and he looks like going to be a fantastic player.
And again, 13 possessions, 5 marks. He made a solid contribution to a side that is very, very experienced.
Yeah, and Glenelg are trying to do that thing at the moment, trying to get a few of those younger players in. When you've got a good experienced midfield, Matty Bode, you've got Ty Allen, those sort of players to play with, they really bring them into the game, and those young fellas who just love being out there.
We mentioned Matthew Bode, and with 14 kicks, 5 handballs and 3 goals, we had to choose the best of them, and this was our goal of the day, with Matty Bode just able to swing around here, knowing that he's capable of making the distance. And once he put his head down, it was just connect with the kick properly.
Yeah, obviously he just wheeled around on that favourite left foot. He's good. He's right outside 50 metres. Probably the ball's probably carried 55 metres, but a fantastic goal from Matty Bode, and probably his best of his 3.
And I'll take responsibility for the mark of the day, because I did call it as that, but it's hard to go past Johnny Platten, was it? It was in the last quarter, about halfway through, and hey presto, he got a little bit of a lift. I think Matty Bode was the man he got a lift on too. It was too.
Yeah, good. Matty wouldn't be that happy to be amongst that one there, but yeah, fantastic mark there. Got really high there. Beautiful, beautiful jump, and took the ball clean, and he just ran away with it after that as well. So a great mark by Johnny Platten.
Yeah, he's got a good lift. There's no doubt about that. And he just sat there just for a moment to take advantage of the view and then take the mark. He only took the 3 marks for the day, but that was our vote for the best mark of the day. He had 11 possessions, Johnny Platten, and certainly did well for his side. Now we're down to the boys in the boundary. Mark Soderstrom and Michael Maney joining us, and we're going to start talking about things that happened after the final siren, the Chris Gowan Sam Rowe incident last week that resulted in, I didn't realise, but actually both of them got reported, Michael. Was there a lot in it?
Oh, not a lot in it. A lot of jumper punches these days that they don't take too much notice of. But I suppose it was after the quarter had been sounded, the bell, and they just have a look at that. They're just having a bit of a go. That's all right. Chris Gowans, he doesn't know how to take a backward step, and Sam Rowe decided, well, let's have a bit of a dance and a bit of a wrestle, and there they go. an awful lot in that. Just probably doesn't look good for the game, Mark, really.
Well, I think the tough thing for both those boys was it was a TV game, so there was some vision of it, because I'm not quite sure the umpires got anywhere near there in time to see any of that. So probably a little bit unlucky that they were spotted that way. But yeah, it was Jason McKenzie was just hovering near there. We were trying to get hold of him for an interview, so I didn't get to see all the action, but Big Buckets didn't look like he was too interested. They'd won the game. He was happy just to walk off.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot in it. As I understand, I just looked down. Gowans pleaded not guilty to striking and was found not guilty, and Rowe admitted that he was guilty of striking and got a reprimand for his trouble. So both players, I think, walk away happy with that, Tim.
Yeah, Sammy Rowe's a big, gentle giant, really, and even if he did hit him, it wasn't going to hurt him very much. But yeah, no, I think it's just one of those things. At the end of the game, a lot of passion. We've had some, obviously being a North player, we've had some really close games with Central. It was a bit frustrating at the end of the game, and obviously the Gowns are on the lip a little bit, and he's just saying thanks for the game. We'll see you in the finals.
Yeah, that was Soda saying, nah, James and Chris can't imagine they'll be saying anything. Norwood and the Panthers next week. Round 2, Norwood Oval. Result went to the Panthers, who've basically, they've stopped in the last, what is it now, 10, 11 weeks, Michael?
Yeah, they have a bit, but I think they've turned a lot of players over. They lost Dylan Williams, and they've lost other players. Sam Elliott's not playing for them, and they've got a few injuries. They've had young Talia go out of their side, haven't they, Sodas?
With the knee.
Yeah, yep. they've lost a few key players, Thulis, etc. Things weren't going well for Norwood early in the season. They were just adjusting to Nathan Bassett's game style, I'm sure of that. But I don't think we'll see a result like that in next week's game, I think.
I think Norwood were 33 points up in that game, and they coughed up that loss, so I can just about guarantee I would have thought that if Norwood get 5 to 6 goals up, they won't lose to South Adelaide again.
No, 5 points was the final margin there, Tim, and certainly playing that night, you must have been shattered.
Yeah, and I guess they've been struggling at that stage, lost a few games, and yeah, they're actually the only side Norwood haven't beaten this year. They've beaten everyone else, and it's just one more hurdle which we need to jump over. We've beaten everyone else. South's the next target, and for us to play finals footy, they're the games we have to win. And yeah, that was almost a heartbreaking loss, that one, to be up by 30-odd points, and then to get beaten in that last almost the last kick of the match.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll be heading down to Noarlunga next week. Yeah, with a bit of payback, I suppose.
Absolutely. Well, we'll go back down, and I can tell you Michael Maney hasn't changed shape. It's actually Mark Micken, who's the Tigers coach, is joining Sodas.
Well, Mark, a lot of intensity in that first half by both sides, but you just held your intensity obviously a lot longer.
Yeah, I was pleased with that. I thought, you know, the North had a few things going on at their club this week, and were, you know, ready to come out with a bit of fire in their belly, and they did that. And we knew we had to sort of hold our nerve and stick it out the way we want to play. And I thought, you know, the third quarter was terrific with the way they, you know, broke the game open. And then I think, you know, went on with the last quarter. Probably a few turnover errors cost us a little bit in the last quarter, but as it turned out, we won every quarter, only just in probably 2 or 3 of those quarters. But that was something that we really wanted to do today. So we feel as though we've achieved something.
Just watching the game in the box here, did you have that feeling that if you just held them long enough, you were going to be able to break it open?
You never know if you're going to break it open, but you know that you have to hold your nerve, and you have to keep doing the things that, you know, work for you. And that was the pleasing part about it. We did that, and if you do that, you give yourself a chance of breaking the game open. That's all you can do. And in the end, that's what happened. But you certainly can't rely on the opposition sort of folding or anything like that. And I don't think North Adelaide did. I think they kept at us, and in the end, you know, our ability to win the ball in the contested situation, I think, was pretty important.
Mark, given what we've seen over your club the last few years, you've been up there the whole time. Are you starting to see enough improvement in the areas that you want this year as opposed to the last couple?
Yeah, well, certainly one was last year, goal kicking, and today there was some good examples of that and some not, but over the year we've improved that. You know, that's a fact. You know, the percentages tell us that we've improved that quite a bit. There's still some areas that we're of concern. I thought we turned the ball over too much and exposed the goals, you know, to the opposition at crucial times with our kicking and a little bit of handball. But that's a work in progress. But I think what we have got is a group of players who've got a lot of grit, a real want to win and to play, you know, well for each other, and you know, some depth in our reserve. So you know, it puts us in a good place. But we also understand that the competition's tough, and you know, there's a lot of other very good sides around, and it's probably tougher than it's ever been.
Mark, I know a lot of eyes have been on Chad Corns, him having to come back into this footy, and given that he hasn't played for more than a decade at this level, have you been satisfied with the attitude he's brought back to SANFL?
His attitude's been excellent. He's really bought into everything we do here. He played whatever role, whether it was wing, on ball, full forward, centre-half back today. I thought he was very good. You know, plays a very disciplined team game in terms of his want to give the ball off, protects his teammates. And you know, he's really embraced the club, and the club's embraced him.
Now, you have a rest, of course, because of the split round, but then you take on a club you know very well and obviously wore the red and black with distinction. How do you go into that match?
Oh, we're very aware of West Adelaide. I think I've one of the big improvers along with Nord. You know, they're a team that's, I think, developed a lot of grit and a lot of players who have really taken on roles that have brought a lot of improvement to the club. So we understand it's going to be a really tough game.
Mark, enjoy the break and good luck in a couple of weeks' time. Congratulations today.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks.
A real sense with Mark Micken. Work in progress. We'll work towards what we need to do.
Yeah, look, he's just happy to take the points today, wasn't he? But it's interesting talking about Chad Corns. Obviously, he realises SANFL footy's pretty hard stuff today. When he copped one on the finger, he copped one in the ribs, but I'm sure he would have been happy to sing that club song after the game. And out of Port Power, haven't sung one for 9 weeks, so yeah, it'd be nice to sing it 2 weeks in a row.
Long way for a long way to get to actually win a game, isn't it? When you haven't won for 11 weeks. Just quickly down to Michael and Sodas. We talk about next week. Panthers taking on Norwood. Are we going to see an upset?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think those days are gone. But you never know in this competition. It's evened up over the years, Mark, but I couldn't see for the life of me where the Panthers could eke a win out.
That's a no from me too.
Thanks, boys. We'll have to leave it there. We'll talk to you next week. Let's move on to the results this afternoon. And Glenelg, as we know, winning by 45 points. That's the last 10 they've beaten North Adelaide. The last 10 times the clubs have met. And Central's comfortably by 64 points over West Adelaide. Westies, Tim, can they make an impact in the finals?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a pretty tough run, obviously. They've got to play Glenelg next week, or the week after, sorry, after the split round. And yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for them. They do play Port again, I think, and then they... I'm not sure if they'll play the last 2 games. I think that the game when they play Sturt, that's really going to be like an elimination final, isn't it? Sturt need to win every game from now, but that Sturt West game in about 3 weeks' time, pretty much the first elimination final of the year.
Yeah, Panthers playing Norwood next Saturday afternoon. That is our match of the day. And Port playing Sturt on the Sunday. Of course, we'll have the scores in the news on the Sunday night. So for us, it's bad news for the Roosters in that they lost this afternoon by 45 points. But let's journey back to 1987, the third of the 3 grand finals against Glenelg. And what an afternoon it was for the Roosters.
The 1987 grand final about to get underway as umpire Neville Thorpe moves in to bounce the ball. Kicking to the right of the screen, it's North Adelaide. To the left, it's Glenelg, and Carey got the first knock. The first kick, though, going the way of Sanders. The half forward, knocked away there from Salisbury. Carey and Red. Carey getting handball. Sims the snapshot. Oh, God! Magnificent snapshot from Stephen Sims. Parsons versus Cruz. Well defended Cruz. Darren Jarman around the boundary line. Clark, long kick. What a goal! Waiting for his kidney. Klomp again. Got it out to Parsons. He's not too agile. West lost it. Roberts, the chance on the left foot. Line, I think. No! What a goal! Towards Roberts. West is winning. Roberts almost. Darren Jarman reading it. He has one. Another snap. Another great one. Tried to work over the top. Taken out by Grenville. Andrew Jarman. Burnt. Shoots the goal. Looks good. The Roosters on play. In front of was Clisby, who couldn't mark. He's got support there from Simmons, who tries to give it out to Redden. On now to Clisby, but brilliant